Yeah, welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast Live, midweek Wednesday night edition. Yes. I'm going to be holding it down myself tonight, but still got a pretty good show for you. Got some pretty interesting topics, I think, and got a couple of quick hits, of course. So obviously, when it's just me, the show tends to go a lot faster. So that's probably what's going to happen here. We don't have Transformer and G, but that's all right. You know, I can handle it. So yeah, got some interesting topics. Going to talk about obviously LeBron, right? We talk about NBA. LeBron is the guy, right? He's the biggest name in that league, so we got to talk about him. We'll talk a little bit about Boomer Esiason, former NFL quarterback, and his recent comments regarding Shedeur Sanders, arguably, depending on how you look at it, the top or the second best quarterback coming out in this year's draft class. Then we'll talk the main topic, obviously, Anthony Edwards and how he recently said that he doesn't have any interest in being the face of the league, and needless to say, I do not like that. But we'll get into it. There's more to it than that, more context. And then finally, we'll finish up with an NFL topic because, of course, the NFL is king, and we will talk about the Cincinnati Bengals and their contract issues and what they're going to do about getting that done. So, yeah, definitely I'm excited and ready to bring you this show, but before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and you know what I'm going to do. Then we'll take a couple minutes, see if we get some more people in the chat, and then we'll get it rolling. If you're watching here on YouTube, make sure you go ahead, click that subscribe, that like, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept aware anytime we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you enjoy the content as you listen, make sure you give us a like, a 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And write it down, put it in your phones, make a note of it. The Format Podcast is live Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. And finally, if you're really and truly enjoying the podcast and you want to help the show continue to grow, make sure you go ahead, click that join button, join the channel. We're going to have some exclusive content just for you. Speaking of that exclusive members only content, I got that on the way. I'm hard at work on it. So hopefully we'll see that pretty soon here. But I think it's going to be a pretty good episode, basketball themed. So, yep, that's on the way. That's coming. All right. Like I said, we'll take a couple of minutes here and we will let a couple of people get in the chat, and then we will see what we got going on. Give it about another minute or so, and then we'll go ahead and get started. And whoever is late, they'll catch up as they come in. All right, let's go ahead and get started. That was my version of elevated music, by the way. Steve, what's good, my man? Good to see you. Good to see you. I appreciate you being here, man. All right, let's rock and roll, y'all. So, let's kick it off and begin with some quick hits, shall we? So, the first of the quick hits. This was something that I meant to talk about even leading up to the Super Bowl, but I didn't get around to. But I still wanted to touch on it because I thought it was a very interesting topic, and that was in it. What up, Laker Nation? What's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. Shout out Laker Nation, one of the first member of the Format Podcast channel. So definitely appreciate that. But yeah, I wanted to talk about this before the Super Bowl came around. There was an interview, and I can't remember what it was on, but Bill Belichick was on there, and he was talking about, you know, how hard it is to win Super Bowls, etc. And this came out, and I'm not sure that I don't know if it was tongue in cheek, if he was kind of joking around when he said it, but what he said was that the Super Bowl trophy should be named after Tom Brady. He's like, hell, he's got 7 of them. You know, he talked about basically how great Tom Brady was in winning all those championships. And I would say that in American sports, in our domestic leagues, winning a Super Bowl is probably the most difficult. Why? Because you have to deal with injuries. You have to deal with what, 50, 54, 53 men all playing a specific role to get to a specific goal, right? And those are just the players. Obviously, you have your coaches and your coaching staff and your scouts and your GM and all of that. So there's so many working parts to get to move in concert towards winning a championship in the NFL. It's arguably the most difficult thing to do. So you have that, and you know, so when you see somebody that can win at an extremely high level in that league, it's definitely worth mentioning. And that's part of the reason why, you know, we got into this debate about whether Patrick Mahomes would have been in the GOAT argument, or would he have been the GOAT had he gotten the three-peat. Obviously, something no one has ever done. We've seen that a few times in the NBA. I wouldn't be able to count how many times this happened in the NHL, but we know we've seen it a few times in the NBA. We saw it twice with the Bulls. Obviously, way back, we saw an 8-peat with the Celtics. We saw a 3-peat more so recently with the with the Chicago Bulls. We saw that twice. And yeah, I think the Bulls were the last team to get a 3-peat in the NBA. Not the Bulls, I'm sorry, the Lakers. And they did that in from 2000 and 2002, 2000, 2001, 2002. Right. So, you know, and that was an all-time great team. Obviously, that was the Shaq and Kobe and Phil Jackson Lakers. Right. So anyway, we know that it can be done in the other sports, but it's extremely, well, it's never happened in football, right? And so Bill Belichick was talking about, you know, hell, Tom Brady's won 7 of these things, 7 trophies, 7 Super Bowls. So he's saying we should name the Super Bowl trophy after Tom Brady. So I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, obviously it's already called the Lombardi after legendary Packers and then Washington Redskins, now Washington Commanders head coach Vince Lombardi, one of the greatest coaches in history. And so it's called the Lombardi Trophy. And personally, I just wanted to touch on this. I don't think that the Lombardi should get renamed. It should stay what it is. They shouldn't name that trophy after Tom Brady, despite his dominance as a player, right? Obviously, Tom Brady with 7 Super Bowl championships has more than any other franchise. I think the Patriots obviously have 6, and he was a big part of that. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers have 6 in their history. So you look at those and you say, wow, that's incredible that one human being has more championships than any franchise. And so, again, personally, I don't think that it should be named after him. What I do think was going on, young disciple, we'll get to that. We got a couple of basketball topics, and then we got a couple of football topics. So we'll definitely talk about it. But I'm glad you're here, brother. Anyway, when it comes to the championship trophy, no, I don't believe it should be changed from the Lombardi to the Brady. But I do believe that the Super Bowl MVP trophy should probably be named after Tom Brady, just like how the NBA Finals MVP trophy is named after the great Mr. Russell, God bless the dead. And so obviously Bill Russell won 11 championships in 13 years. So, you know, he's among the greatest winners of all time, if not the greatest winner of all time. I wouldn't quite say that. I would still say Michael Jordan, but, you know, still the Mr. Russell, all-time great, right? And so the championship MVP trophy is named after him, and I think that it would probably be a good idea if you did that in the NFL and you named the Super Bowl MVP trophy after Tom Brady. So no, we leave the Lombardi, but we call the Super Bowl MVP trophy the Tom Brady Super Bowl MVP trophy. That's my thought. That's my quick hit on that. All right. Next. What did Brandon say? What up, Brandon? Does AI win championships with Curry's Warriors? Does Curry win? Man, what kind of question is that, man? I have no idea. Okay. The second quick hit I wanted to touch on was boxing. I was trying to get a guest on here to talk some boxing with me tonight, but I wasn't able to get him to come in. So hopefully we'll be able to do that later in the week with him. And I don't know if that's going to be a live or that's going to be a pre-record. So we'll find out. But I'm still trying to work that out. I couldn't get him here tonight. But anyway, it's going to be a quick hit instead of a full topic. So yeah, it's going to be a quick hit, Brandon. I was, like I said, I was trying to get our guy here, and we talked about that offline. I was trying to get him here to do that, to do this topic tonight, but I couldn't make it happen. So hopefully this week we'll be able to do a show with him. Anyway, just wanted to touch quickly again, quick hit. Saturday night, we've got rematch between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol for undisputed lightweight champ of the world. Yeah, you did say that. We might have to do that. We'll talk about it. But yeah, we got the Beterbiev Bivol rematch, this Saturday night from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. That's going to be a heck of a fight. The last fight, Beterbiev won, but as much as I'm a fan of his, watching that fight, I think it could have gone either way. I think Bivol did a lot of really good work. It was the first fight in Beterbiev's career that he didn't knock out his opponent. I think he's now 21-0 with 20 knockouts. Still has the highest knockout KO percentage in the sport, but he wasn't able to close Bivol out. But Bivol to me did really good work, very fast hands, really good combinations, really good movement throughout the fight. But it appears that the judges thought that Beterbiev was able to land the bigger, cleaner punches, and so he was rewarded for that with the win. But the good thing is the fight was close enough that we were able to get a rematch, and so looking forward to that. Really good fight. All right, next up, Keyshawn Davis, rising star in the lightweight division. He's putting guys down, really, really skilled, talented young man. And so now the thing is, everybody's looking at possible opponents for Tank Davis, Gervonta Davis, who, as we know, absolute monster, right? And so I'm thinking, all right, Gervonta Davis, as we can see here, just an animal, just punishing people. If you hear the noise in the background, pardon me for that. But anyway, Gervonta, yeah, he's just punishing people. He's got elite punching power, but the scary thing about him, he's also an elite boxing technician. That's the scary part. A lot of guys who possess great power don't have the technical skills, the fine-tuned technical skills, and Gervonta has that. And so Keyshawn Davis, while he's showing a lot of promise, I think it's pretty early for them to even be talking about him fighting a Gervonta Davis. Now, the rumor also has been that Gervonta Davis might be getting ready to step away from the game in terms of being a professional boxer. I know that he had mentioned that, so we'll see where that goes in the future, in the immediate future. So Keyshawn Davis might be trying to, get that fight before. Yeah, Brandon, you're right. Boxing judges do act like crackheads every now and then. But yeah, I think that when it comes to Keyshawn Davis, they may be angling to try and get that big fight against Tank before Tank walks away. But even still, personally, for me, I think it just might be too early for that fight. I don't know that he's ready for that yet, as talented as the young fella is. Yeah, Abdullah Mason is coming. Yeah, he's another problem. Absolutely. But yeah, so Keyshawn Davis and Tank Davis, possible fight. I think it would be cool to see, but I just don't think he's ready for that. For me, and this is a problem again with the weight though, the best fight in those lower weight classes for me, again, that I would love to see is Tank coming up to maybe 145, 147. And fighting Ryan Garcia in a rematch once Ryan Garcia is, cleared and clean in his system. That would be the fight that I really want to see. Not weight train Ryan Garcia, not that, Tank necessarily needed a weight train to win that fight, but I would love to see that. I think it would be an awesome rematch. I think it would be a big money fight. I think it would be two super skilled guys, two guys who have power. Ryan Garcia, elite speed. I would love to see it. So those are my quick hits. Boxing, and of course the Super Bowl trophy should not be named after Tom Brady, but the Super Bowl MVP trophy should be named after Tom Brady. On the boxing note, Brandon Bryce says Keyshawn Davis should fight you talking about Shakur Stevenson? Tank should fight Loma. I wanted Tank to fight Loma. I did. I don't know what Loma's got left in the tank. I don't know if he's ready to come back. We haven't really heard anything. I thought that fight was in the works, and then he stepped away from that. So I'm not sure. Okay, so you were saying Keyshawn Davis and Shakur Stevens, that would be a great fight. Shakur is a damn technician himself. I like that kid a lot. He's a sweet science guy. Doesn't have the elite power. I was looking him up today and looking at some highlights and stuff. He has more knockouts than I thought. I think he's got 10 knockouts. He's like 21-0 with 10 knockouts. But obviously he's not an elite power guy. But he has elite hand speed, foot speed, great defense, fantastic defense, and he can do it all in that ring. So we'll see. We'll see what's in the future for him. hopefully we get some of these big fights going at the lower weights. But I think boxing's in a good place now, and a lot of that is thanks to Turkey Al-Sheikh, man. So let's just keep going and continuing to make these good fights for the fight fans. All right, we'll leave it right there. Excuse me. All right, so let's go to our first topic. So this one caused a lot of consternation, right? And it's something I've been talking to my guy Edward about this all week. I think I talked to Bruce a little bit about it. Shout out Edward. And this is interesting, and I know I'll probably get a call from Laker Nation on this, which I look forward to. So LeBron James, obviously, we know he didn't play in the All-Star game for the first time in his 22-year. Well, correction, he didn't play in the All-Star game when selected for the first time in his 22-year illustrious career, right? And so he has the record, 21 straight All-Star game selections and 21 straight All-Star game appearances? 20 straight All-Star game appearances. But a lot of people are kind of taking some umbrage to the fact that LeBron, they believe, and no one knows this for sure, but many people believe that he knew that he wasn't going to play, and he deliberately held out until about an hour and a half before the game at the press conference before letting anyone know, which I personally, if he knew, I didn't think that was cool, because that was an opportunity that someone else could have had that, right? And just because he let somebody know in advance, said, yo, I'm not going to play, somebody else could have got that slot and played, I think that would have been fine, right? Why? Because he still would have it on his resume that he's a 21-time All-Star game selection, and he would have been there for it, just like Giannis was. But at the same time, someone else could have gotten their opportunity, right? It could have been a first-time All-Star. That can never be replicated. That can never be duplicated, right? So I didn't think, if he knew, I didn't think that was cool. If he knew, I would think that that's a very selfish move, and that's something like, really, Bron, you could have done better than that. Again, that's if he knew. And a lot of people think he did. I have no comment on it. I really don't know. I would hope that he didn't know he was going to do that. Now, there are the conspiracy theories as well that I heard this one today. I was listening to the Two Pros and a Cup of Joe show on Fox Sports Radio this morning. And one of the things they were saying, the conspiracy theory that they were, I don't know what they were espousing or just kind of saying it, I thought it was interesting, is that LeBron really didn't know about the Anthony Davis trade, and he says, he's going to stick it to the league for screwing him and taking his guy away. And so he comes up with this plan to not perform at the All-Star game, right? So I'm like, damn, that's crazy. That's not cool at all. So there's that. But again, if he didn't want to play, just tell him you're not going to play, and don't take that opportunity from someone else. Like, if you want to stick it to the league by not playing because you're still the marquee guy, the face of the league, the biggest draw, whatever, I'm cool with that. I don't have an issue with that. But if you knew, again, I'm saying if, because I don't know, if you knew you weren't going to play and you held up the opportunity for someone else to get that slot and have an opportunity, like the name Norman Powell keeps coming up, I believe that would have been his first ever All-Star selection. If you took that opportunity from him, like, he can never get that back, and that's not cool. That's super selfish, right? And I don't like that at all. I think that's not the way you should be moving. If indeed, you knew that you weren't going to play. Now, if you didn't know, I guess so be it, right? But here's the other thing. A lot of people are also making a big deal about the fact that he came out, took the picture, and basically in his same street clothes, he didn't change into the team uniform, right? Again, like Giannis did. Now, not saying he's got to do anything like Giannis does, but he could have done that, kind of, been a little more of a teammate. Now, some people, excuse me, some people want to point out, I think there was an All-Star picture. I don't know if it was Kobe or Jordan. I can't remember. I think Edward sent it to me. I saw a clip, and the guy was talking in the clip about how it was either Kobe or Jordan wasn't going to play in the All-Star game, and they were in a suit in the All-Star picture. They weren't in the team uniform, the warm-ups either. So, and there was another one where Yao Ming was injured. He was selected but didn't play, and he was in a suit in the All-Star team photo, right? Now, people are like, well, how come you don't have the same energy for those guys, but you're getting on LeBron? That's what the guy who made the video show, right? Laker Nation, I don't know. I don't know if he knew he was playing or not. That's why I'm saying I'm not in the guy's brain. I have no idea. So where was I? I'm sorry. Lost my train of thought. But yeah, So we get to, there were two other guys who were selected for the All-Star team in different years. They weren't in the team uniform either, but nobody really had smoke for them. And so what I would say about that is I'm pretty sure that those players who didn't play, they announced it beforehand, and that's why they were dressed the way they were dressed, right? Everybody knew they weren't doing that. Chris Whitfield, what's good, what's good. If you're new, man, hit like and subscribe for me, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Um, I got you, Edward, but I'm saying that I'm doing my thing, right? I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my show, so I'm answering the comments, and as well I'm answering this, discussing this particular topic. So anyway, back to it. So yeah, people are all. It's so interesting when it comes to LeBron, right? Whether it's LeBron, whether it's Clutch, whether it's the LeBron fans, the LeBron media, it can never just be, you know what, I was wrong about that, or you know what, LeBron was wrong about that, and just let it go, right? It's always got to be, well, what about someone else? What about when Jordan did this? What about when Kobe did that? Like, why is that? Why it can't ever just be, you know what, Bron was wrong about that? Like that whataboutism is a really weird thing. It's not something men usually do. It's kind of, unfortunately, it's kind of like a feminine arguing trait. It's one of those things that you hear. It's the, well, what about this? What about that's not really how that goes, right? So just if he did something wrong, then just say that. It's not that hard, right? A man should be accountable when he, when he does something wrong, or when he knows something is done wrong. But that is what it is, right? So anyway, you have this situation, and it's like now everybody's making a huge deal out of it. Was it a big deal that he was a late All-Star scratch? Was it a big deal that he didn't get in uniform to take the picture with the team? Was it a situation where he was deliberately trying to show up the All-Star game? Was it a situation where he was trying to show up the NBA and make a point? I really don't know. I really don't. It's kind of weird. I have no idea. Brandon says it wasn't like that for the two players that didn't play because people didn't have social media. No one wanted to know every aspect of their lives. So yeah, that is interesting. But here's the other deal, right? Now, we always talk about, and I get you, Brandon, modern players and modern people having social media and modern celebrities, and it being so hard on them because every bit of their lives is being ripped apart and scrutinized and all that. And I get it. And there's truth to that. However, why do we always act like those same celebrities, those same athletes, those same people, they don't put themselves out there for that consumption of their lives, right? It's not like they're not gaining anything off of the social media exposure. Again, what do I always say on this show? Two things can be true. We can't just say, well, they're going through the social media era and they got it harder than anybody that came before them. But yeah, they're also making a lot off of social media, right? Off of the branding. That's giving them other opportunities. They're absolutely also a guy like LeBron. Every tweet, every Instagram post, whatever, you think he's not monetizing that? We got to stop looking at this only one way, right? And we know that realistically, the only person that gets that treatment is LeBron. Why? Because we have to, for whatever reason, excuse everything he does. We have to protect him every time anyone criticizes him. He's the only superstar ever that, for whatever reason, somehow isn't worthy of critique. It's crazy. Chris Whitfield says, LBJ is top 10 for the wrong reasons, unfortunately. Wow. Okay. This is interesting. Let me see. Here's my top 15 man roster: Wilt, Duncan, Rodman, Jordan, Magic, Kareem, Ori, Pippen, Kobe, Billups, Russell, Dirk, LBJ, Oscar, Peyton, honorable mention, Bird. Oh man, Chris Whitfield. This is another topic for another time. I do not like your top 15 at all. At all. Robert Ori, no. Chauncey Billups, no. Dirk, no. that's not good. Honorable mention, Bird, no. I can't rock with you on that. But this is something we'll talk about another time, man. But thank you for giving us your input on your top 15 all time. Appreciate that. Okay. Where are we? Let's see. As a Laker fan, we want our squad to represent in the All-Star game. I get it. I guess LeBron would have been the only one. So is that the only reason why this is a big deal? Because he's a Laker? Because I disagree. If he was somewhere else and he pulled this, it would be a big deal as well. I don't think that would matter whether or not he's a Laker or he's playing for someone else. It's just, I don't think it was cool how he moved with this. Again, I don't know whether or not he knew, but regardless, I don't think it was cool. I think that even still, he knew more than an hour and a half in advance, right? And you wonder, Yes, it is his top 15, but that doesn't mean it's a good one. Robert Horry, come on, man. Yes, big shot Bob hit a lot of great shots, but to say he's a top 15 player of all time makes no sense whatsoever. Anyway, yeah, so Dalton Connect, he was not an all-star, he was a rising star. Come on, Laker Nation, cut that out. All right. Let's see. Yeah, Brandon says, think how great the old players and artists were. They smashed records and made hits without the backing of social media. Absolutely. They did it the old way, they did it the hard way. And I'm not denigrating anyone who utilizes social media to their advantage in this era and this time that we live in, because it's here. It's another tool, right? That's like saying, I have a hammer, but I'm not going to use a hammer because people built things before hammers were invented. Like, that's pretty stupid. You have a hammer now. Use the hammer, right? Chris Whitfield says Wilt has a quintuple double. How many other players have those numbers? Not before or since. All right, we'll talk about it, man. We'll talk about it. It's not really the time to debate that, but interesting. All right, Edward, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, Edward. We'll talk. All right, but anyway, so we got this LeBron thing going on. We don't know if he knew or not. We don't know if he was trying to make a point to the league or not, because he didn't like maybe he felt like the league screwed him on the Luka trade with AD. We don't know if he was trying to make a point to the league because he didn't like the new All-Star setup layout, whatever word you want to use, the way the new All-Star game system. But again, realistically, like, these players have no one to blame but themselves for the way the All-Star game is now. So anybody complaining about it, Draymond included, that's why I loved when Draymond was complaining and Charles Barkley was like, yo, he was like, your generation is the reason that why we're in this position. Your generation is the reason why we're out here, throwing stuff at the wall, trying to hope it sticks to try and get some sort of engagement for the All-Star game. And he's 100%, he's 100% right about that. All right. So yeah, I will go ahead and open up the phone lines. This was a quick first topic. Whole show might go this way, but we'll find out. Y'all know the number is scrolling on the bottom, and it's also in the chat. 904-219-8264, 904-219-8264. Go ahead, give me a call. I really want to know. I know we got some LeBron fans in here. I know we got some Laker fans. We might have someone else. I would love to hear some thoughts on whether or not you think LeBron James knew whether or not he was going to play. If you think it was cool that he waited till an hour and a half before to let people know. Because you also got to wonder, if he wasn't asked at that press conference, like, when were people going to know? Were they just going to find out that he was a healthy scratch or a scratch? I don't know. But let's take this call. Laker Nation, what's good, my man? How you doing?
What up?
Maintaining. How you doing?
Just give you an update. LeBron James is available to play tonight.
Oh, how good. How nice.
So he's playing tonight.
Uh-huh.
As far as if he knew, that's only a matter of interpretation. But knowing, I'm just going based on his track record. He knew he wasn't going to play. He wouldn't. It wasn't something like, oh shit, okay, if he didn't have a habit of doing stuff, pulling stunts like this, right. I don't think nobody would bat an eye. Which is why no one's really jumping on Anthony Edwards for doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And let's be real. He saw LeBron do it. He was like, hey, I'm sore.
Right.
I ain't gonna play.
And see, that's the amazing thing. People, I'm sorry to cut you. You might be right. It's just amazing how people downplay the level of influence that LeBron has on these other players, man. It's really confounding to me that people downplay that level of influence, because when he moves a certain way, other people think it's cool to move that way. And that's kind of how it ends up going. Now, I'm not saying that Anthony Edwards looked at LeBron and said, hey, I'm going to do the same thing. But influence can be subconscious as well, man. And people act like that's not a real thing. Like, people got on me when I talked about the dunk contest, and I'm not saying he was the only reason. I'm saying he's a big reason. But anyway, we're not going to go down that road. But yeah, go ahead, Laker Nation.
But I don't. Anthony Edwards wasn't a starter though.
Right.
So, but still, them two, they could have. They should have. They should have announced it in time. So if they weren't going to suit up, at least so they can find a replacement. Like you said, Norman Powell could have made his first All-Star.
That's right.
Because, he's balling out this year.
Mm-hmm. But here's the other thing, right? Here's the other thing. My problem is this as well. When people ask, well, what about Anthony Edwards? Why nobody got the same smoke for him? I'm like, that is a really silly question to ask, because nobody's putting Anthony Edwards in a so-called GOAT debate, right? Nobody has Anthony Edwards up on the list where they have LeBron. A lot of people have LeBron as best player of all time. Some people have him as, top 3. Some people top 5. Most people top 10, right? So Anthony Edwards is not there. So why are we using the same criteria to compare those two? If Anthony Edwards does something, it's not the same as LeBron doing it. So I don't understand why we're saying why we don't have the same smoke for Anthony Edwards as we do for LeBron. Like, that's absurd. That's absurd. Like, I don't get it. Can you explain that to me, Laker Nation?
Well, number one, only LeBron fans are saying that. Number two, he deserves backlash as well. Like I said, that's 2 spots that could have went to 2 deserving players that should have been there. Like, it's ridiculous. Because I know I'm just saying this because it's my Lakers, but hell, Austin Reeves could have got a nod. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know what you're saying. No.
Yeah, you do. You just saying that because it's the Lakers.
No, Austin Reeves could not have gotten a nod this year.
He could have gotten a nod.
Now, is he really good? Yes, but he couldn't. No,
he could have gotten a nod. But
no.
But at the end of the day, in the past, we've had players that done that last minute, say they weren't going to play, but they suited up. They went out there. I think Kobe did it 1 year too. He was injured. Well, he wasn't going to play, but he at least suited up. Started. He ran up and down the court.
Right.
He won 2 possessions, and he sat out for the rest of the game.
And LeBron could have done that. Why didn't he do that then? Right.
And nobody would have said anything.
Right. He's 40. That's what we hear all the time. He's 40. What do you expect? It would have been cool. Okay. You got out there. Maybe you did a layup. Maybe you threw an assist. You threw somebody an ollie. You took a 3. Cool. There you go. You gave the fans something to see. You gave them what they came for. And now you let the rest of the game go and you take your break, right? That wouldn't have been difficult.
Yeah, but he's gonna hear more because they just announced. I think it was ESPN just announced that LeBron James has been upgraded to available for tonight's game against the Hornets.
Is that in Charlotte or is that in LA?
I believe this one's in. Let me look.
If it's in Charlotte, it's probably on right now.
I just had this crap up. Is that 10? No, it's in LA.
Okay. So it's a late game, right?
Yeah, it ain't gonna come on until after the show's over.
Yeah, well, I ain't gonna stay up for that. I should try at least for a few minutes, first quarter. Maybe.
But it's gonna be an interesting game because guess who else is playing?
Oh,
the center, Mark Williams.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
Yeah, he's playing, so it's gonna be an interesting game, but. Without LaMelo out there, I ain't gonna say he's gonna be a cakewalk because you never know with the Lakers.
Well, we'll see. Chris Whitfield says LBJ is being phony or they paid him to tell lies or stories. Well, I mean, LeBron phony? Who could imagine? I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm not even gonna.
I'm just saying that LeBron. I don't know why LeBron fans aren't pissed off. Because, that was some wonderful for them to watch. Of LeBron at 40 playing in the All-Star game.
Agreed.
I don't know why they're not pissed off.
I'm going to tell you why they're not pissed off. No bull. LeBron could hand LeBron fans a steaming pile of his own crap and they wouldn't be pissed off. That's why.
Why you go there?
You know it. You know it's true. You know that.
Hey,
come on, man.
I gotta. Hey, he in a Laker uniform. So
that's true.
I
respect that. I respect that. No doubt.
Because you got to. Even if you hate a player, if he's in your uniform,
not me.
You're not a supporter.
Not me. I'll put that team on hiatus until that player goes away. But that's just me.
You can't do that.
Yes,
bro.
I can. Well, I've never had to, but I would. If it was that guy, I would.
So LeBron next year say, I'm gonna go play for Boston. You telling me that you're going to put him on the hiatus?
Yeah, till he's gone. Yep.
Are you crazy?
Yeah, definitely.
You crazy.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying I'm going to go and pick up another team. I'm not doing that. I'm just going, I'm not rooting for anybody until after that's over.
Well, to me, I don't really give a crap because I barely watch the All-Star game anyway.
Right.
It's a clown fest anyway.
Well, I wanted to watch it because I had some interest in the new format. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that it was something different this year, I'm sure it garnered a little bit of attention, but I wanted to see what it was going to be. I'm actually tomorrow night, I'm going to watch this. The NHL All-Star Final, the nations thing. They had the 4 teams, and it's the U.S. versus Canada, and that apparently I didn't even realize it was the same weekend. That apparently was a big deal. Had fights and all that, and it was some really good games. So we'll see. I don't know why I know why the NBA needs to just stop playing and either go East versus West, and winner gets home court in the finals, or they need to go U.S. versus the world. That's what they need to do. That will force people to play hard. I guarantee it. And the ratings will go through the roof. Yeah, go ahead.
Man, it's the players. You shouldn't have to force these.
I know.
Pampered ass to play hard and want to compete. I think a lot of them forgot what it took for them to get there.
So I don't know if you're a boxing fan, but the late great Marvin Hagler, God bless the dead, marvelous Marvin Hagler, excuse me, once said it's hard to get up and run 5 miles when you're sleeping in silk pajamas, right? So I would say that a lot of pro athletes forget what it took to get there, and that's why only some of them are truly great. You know what I'm saying? Because they're wired differently and they're able to keep that drive and that desire, right? Your Magics, your Birds, your Wilts, your Russells, your Mikes, your Kobe's, your LeBrons, right? Only some of them are wired a certain way. LeBron, in my estimation, a little lower than the rest of those guys, but regardless, he's still up there for what he's been able to do for this long. So at the end of the day, there are very few athletes that are able to do it that way. Your Kobe's, your Bruce Smiths, your Reggie Whites, your Jerry Rices, your Tom Brady's, those guys. It's just it's a short list of all the people that play professional sports. They are gifted, but they're like anyone else. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's I don't know. They get there, get this money, and then they forget.
Mm-hmm.
They lose their hunger. They forget what it took to get there.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Only a few is still showing passion.
That's right. That's right.
And they're going to be out of and they're going to be retiring in 3 or 4 or maybe 5 years.
Right. So,
just like I just don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna let you go.
Mm-hmm.
These LeBron fans are phony as hell. And I don't care. Well, I don't care what. I'm not taking anything they say anymore with any factual or taking it to heart. Because I like Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
And if he would have done that, I'd have been pissed off. Fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I would have been pissed off. I don't care if he was I don't care that he had 15 straight All-Stars or 17 or 18 or 19.
Mm-hmm.
I really can care less. If you tell we ready to go see you hoop, and then at the last minute you say, "Well, I'm not going to play," which I know Kobe wouldn't do no crap like that. But I'm just saying, I'll be fan of him. I'll be pissed off, and the fact that the LeBron fans are mad, all of them are fun.
Mm-hmm.
The real ones will be LeBron fans, if he have any, will be pissed off. Mm-hmm. I don't want to care about no excuses they're gonna say. Mm-hmm. Call in and be like Laker Nation trip. I really can care less. It's gonna go in one ear and out the other.
Right.
That's just how I feel.
I hear you.
Because I'm gonna say one more thing. I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah.
If Jason Tatum would have did that, that nigga would have got crucified worse than LeBron is right now.
Yeah.
They'd have been talking about him like a dog.
Yes. Yes. They already do. Ask G.
They do, but it'll be a million times worse.
Yeah. It is what it is.
But all right, Bruce, I'm gonna let somebody else call in.
All right, brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks for letting me say my piece.
No doubt, man. Appreciate it. All right, so Young Disciple actually had a couple good comments. He asked, why criticize one of the players that's great? And I assume he's asking, why criticize LeBron? And what I'll say about that, for me, I'm not going to speak for anyone else. For me, I criticize LeBron because he so opens himself up to said criticism. When you're everything you do is, hey, look at me, I'm the GOAT, I'm this, I'm that. When you have literal media arms dedicated to protecting you at every turn, when you have an agency that every time someone in that agency goes on an interview, their whole goal is to tear down everyone else, to try and point out how you're, supposedly the greatest of all time, you open yourself up to said criticism. That's why I am critical of LeBron. So I hope that answers the question. All right. So let's I'll give another minute or so and see if we get any more calls on this topic. Doesn't look like it. I wasn't getting any calls while Laker Nation was talking. So take about another minute and then we will go on to the next topic. And we are rolling. What do we have in the comments here? I was good until he went on TV and played yourself. I agree. All right. So let's go on to the next topic. Next topic. So y'all know I'm a huge college football fan. I'm a huge NFL fan. I love football, period. The NFL. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Let's go ahead and take this call from Young Disciple. Young Disciple, what's good, brother?
What's up, man?
How you doing, man?
Bro, you was cooking, bro, until you to the last shit, man. Like, bro, I don't get that. That's the part I don't get, bro. Like,
okay.
Like if LeBron is in that, if LeBron is in that category with greats, what? Like, I'm saying, why criticize? Like, why, bro? Like, I don't get that part. Like, why don't you criticize like one of the ones who had all the potential and had all the card set stacked in their favor and failed or didn't take it serious? Like what? Like why do y'all have a problem with one of the ones who did?
Okay,
I don't get that.
My bad. No, that's a good question. So if we're talking about that, are we talking about maybe a guy like Zion or something like that?
Bro, any one of them, bro.
No, I'm just okay. Well, for me personally, Zion doesn't even deserve being discussed. You know what I'm saying? Because that guy, he apparently has the ability, but he has no desire to be great. So why even waste time on him? You know what I'm saying? So a guy like that. Let's see. I don't know what's another one. To this point, Ja Morant maybe. I don't know what he wants to be, or if he just made a mistake and he's still trying to recover from that. I don't know. He's gonna need some. Sorry, go on.
No, I'm listening.
No, I was gonna say he's gonna need some more time to continue to make his way back because obviously he has issues with suspension, with the nonsense, but also he's got nagging injuries, it seems. And I actually saw something today saying that the Grizzlies may be looking to deal him this summer. That would be interesting. That would be a huge trade in the offseason to see how that ends up going. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but I'm just trying to think, like, who are some of those that we would talk about? But then to your point, those people, while yes, they deserve criticism, and I hear you, they're not even worthy of being discussed. I think that's probably why they don't get the criticism. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that don't make no sense though, bro.
Okay.
Like you could because you criticizing greatness. Like you kind of understand what I'm saying? Like how does that go? But we're gonna be quiet and not say nothing about those who didn't take it like nearby that serious or
or didn't pan out. Like that just don't make no sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then you say he opens himself up for criticism.
Yeah.
Like what do you mean by that? He opens himself up for criticism.
So when I say that, I'm saying this is a guy who everything he does is always look at me, right? He's one of those guys always, and I've said this before that if and when he becomes an owner, I feel like he's going to be the Jerry Jones of the NBA, right? Always in the camera, always looking for the attention, everything he does, right? And so when you're always looking for the attention, which is fine, it's the same. Okay, let me make this example. I've made it before. Like, let's say you got a woman and she's fine as hell and she's shapely in all the right places. I'm gonna leave it there, right? And she dresses, she's not dressing modestly. Everything is out there, right? Because she wants the attention of a particular guy, right? Cool. That's fine. That's her right to do that. But now she gets some attention from dudes that she don't want the attention from, and now she's complaining about it. Oh, blah, 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 right? Well, nah, that's not how life works. There's always two sides to everything. So it's never going to be a situation where you only get the positive attention that you're seeking. With the positive, it's going to come negative. So when you are a social media giant to the level of LeBron, when you're an all-time great player to the level of LeBron, when you're always looking for attention to the level of LeBron, when people can see how you've manipulated the media and all these different things throughout your career, while it's been an incredible career. Yeah, go ahead.
Bruce, how does he manipulate the media?
Really?
Yeah, I'm asking that question.
Okay, so here's an example, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me say something. Y'all always, because y'all always like throw that like he pays the media.
Well, I didn't say that.
I'm saying, but that's kind of what y'all push. Like he pays the media to say good things about him, right?
Well, right? Nick Wright, we know he's a clutch guy. We know that, and he is absurdly dedicated to LeBron, right?
So is Chris Broussard. So why does Chris Broussard? Why does Chris Broussard echo what Nick Wright said?
So the funny thing about Chris Broussard, how he is in terms of LeBron depends on what show he's on, right? So when he used to be on The Odd Couple with Rob Parker, he used to play in the Nick Wright kind of role, right? Because Rob Parker is always going at LeBron. I'm sure you've heard the show before. And so, right, so he played that role. But now that he's on First Things First, Nick Wright is so over the top with LeBron that Chris Broussard he's not quite the Rob Parker, but he got to push back on Nick Wright for that TV dynamic, right? Bruce,
you know what that makes him?
What's that?
That makes him objective, bro.
Okay.
That's what you're not understanding. You have one person in Nick Wright that's all the way to the left about LeBron he's pro LeBron. Then you have Rob Parker. Rob Parker is all the way to the left, anti-LeBron. So if you think about it, and if you really go through it, he's objective, and he's never. I'm saying, and in all of the stuff that Rob Parker said, when you said that he was taking the defending LeBron role or whatever, he's never called LeBron a GOAT.
No, but what I will say, and I actually, if you go back on this channel, my very first video I ever did, Rob Parker was on this show, right? This was during the pandemic, and I asked him about LeBron, and this is how you know that a lot of stuff is, for the show. He has LeBron as number 2 all time, so yes, go ahead.
But he always has had LeBron number 2. I'm saying that's not nothing new.
Right. I'm not saying it is. So where I'm going is, like,
I kind of get what you're saying.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, some of the stuff is like for TV. Yeah. But so when I say, back to your first question, when you say, what do I mean when I say that LeBron manipulates the media, right? So we've heard Stephen A. Smith talk about how when Kendrick Perkins got on LeBron maybe 4 to 6 months ago. I did shows about this as well. 4 to 6 months ago, you noticed after a couple of weeks, Kendrick Perkins changed his tune, and they said on air that basically Clutch Sports went at Kendrick Perkins like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, how dare you criticize this man on air? And all of a sudden his tune changed. Like, we see stuff like that happening. And so that's what I mean when I say manipulating the media like that.
But to me, that's an isolated situation because him and Kendrick Perkins played on the same AAU team, like, meaning they've been friends since they was like 17. But so I would listen, man. If somebody's saying something, if somebody's saying, like, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying Kendrick Perkins ain't never, like, said nothing about LeBron saying something about him, saying, like, anything about him. He was saying Kendrick Perkins was out of pocket for saying the things that he was saying, like, about Bronny. I think he was trying to overly prove he could be objective when it comes to LeBron. So, you know, he went a different route. But I mean, I can understand what you like saying as far as that goes. But what I'm saying is that everybody who puts this fake notion out that LeBron pays like people to say good things about him, and uses his agency as an example, pretty much don't know how agency works. Like what I'm saying is that Clutch Sports is not paying. Like they pay LeBron because y'all say that's really LeBron's agency. I mean, that's how y'all put it out there. I mean, that's pretty much what y'all say.
Yeah.
So if that's LeBron's agency, they pay him. He doesn't pay them. You see what I'm saying?
So explain that to me. Explain that to me. How you're saying they pay him.
Clutch Sports, right? That would be your agent, your agency.
Right.
Rich Paul would be your agent.
Yeah.
Agents get paid a percentage of what they like of the contracts and
yes, that's correct.
So what I'm saying is that the people that y'all saying that LeBron, not you, but I'm saying the public, the people that says that LeBron is paying people to say good things about him, that would be false, because if they're saying it and attaching it to Clutch Sports, really they're paying Clutch Sports, not Clutch Sports are paying them. See what I'm saying?
Okay. So I think that, good point. I think that when people say, you know, LeBron and Clutch are paying people, like, you know, I say it all the time. Oh, such and such on the payroll, so and so's on the payroll, right?
Yeah. Why do y'all say that?
Well, so I think that's you know, that's a tongue-in-cheek statement, but it's more so just to say, like, you know, these people are kind of so. All right, we know that Clutch Sports is clearly the most powerful agency now in the NBA, right? So it may not necessarily.
No.
You don't think so?
No, CIA.
CAA.
I mean,
CAA has always been a big one. They've always been a big one. But I think, okay, so Clutch Sports is one of.
But if you're saying independent, like if you're talking like like if you're saying most, like you're saying powerful, yeah, I would say that. I'll give you that. Okay, I give you that.
Right,
powerful, yeah, I'll give you that.
And so, like, kind of the reason I say that is like, you know, they'll be like, hey. For instance, and I'm not saying I have any specific information, but I have talked to, and I'm not going to say a name here, I have talked to a longtime NBA reporter who is now considered an NBA insider on this, and they've told me that a lot of people in the media, they're not getting paid per se, but they know that if they are critical of LeBron, especially, that Clutch Sports will be very, very tight with their access to LeBron and to Clutch players, and that will limit their ability in some cases to do their jobs, right? And so that right there is kind of manipulating media, right? Because
not really, bro. I'm saying, Bruce, not. I mean, the reason I'm saying not really is because unless y'all can give me instances where this has, Skip Bayless, nigga, he did it and he was all right. I'm just saying, there's so forth and so on. Like what I'm saying is that it's look, bro. Before the decision, bro, I'm saying before LeBron went to Miami, like I'm saying it what this is what I'm saying, bro. I'm saying it's going past like it's going past like basketball, bro. Like y'all criticize LeBron, bro, for everything. Like and what I'm saying is that y'all wouldn't have liked the same. Like I'm saying, if that light was on Michael Jordan, bro, like it, like you know what I'm saying? I'm saying y'all act like Jordan would have like made it and survived in these times with. I'm saying while keeping his like spotless, because Jordan pretty much looked at like a god, like for people that didn't even know him or didn't even see him play. Like I'm saying that part, like you don't hear him bring up negative things like. So what I'm saying is that fans of Jordan know the night. No, y'all know about the nightlife he had. Y'all know about the womanizing. Y'all know about the gambling. Y'all know these things. But y'all choose to go like around the. You get what I'm saying?
My bad.
Like, I don't get that part. So can you explain that part to me?
Yeah, no doubt. I'm gonna say this and then we're gonna move on to the next topic. But so the nightlife, right? I think the reason that people don't really get on Mike regarding the nightlife is because they see like this dude almost never slept, right? We know that he was notorious for being out doing what he was doing. Like you said, gambling, but he was going to legal casinos. Like, he was gambling against other rich people. I'm not going to speak to that because I don't know about it. I'm not going to speak. And he's not the first or the last man that's doing that, right?
Bruce, stop that, Bruce, because y'all all personal. Y'all are all personal when it comes to like LeBron. See, that's why I don't get it. All right, but right there, Bruce. That's why I don't get it.
Well, let me respond to that though. Let me respond to that, right? So, LeBron, I think part of the reason that maybe people are, and myself included, right? I'm not going to say people because I know I'm one of the people that's very critical of him. But part of the reason for me why I am is because he likes to present the image. And many of his fans like to act as if, and I know you've heard me say this, he walks on water, heals the sick, and raises the dead, right? I've never seen anything like that, right? I've never seen a fan base move like this dude does. But hold on.
They call this man Black Jesus, man. They said don't look at him in his eyes. Are you serious right now?
But here's the deal. The reason they said that, and this is what I was getting back to in terms of why people didn't make a big deal out of the nightlife, is because Michael Jordan would be out till 3, 4, whatever time in the morning, but 6 o'clock in the morning he's back in the gym working, and then on whatever minimal sleep he got, he's still out there destroying people, right? People said don't look him in the eyes because he takes it as an insult, a form of disrespect. Yes, I remember that. I was around for that, just like you were. But the difference is that wasn't just something people were saying, right? That wasn't just some made up stuff, because we knew and we saw him destroy people for less, right? We saw him destroy the kid, was it LeBradford Smith, on a made up slight just because he was looking for some reason to go off, right? He was looking to challenge himself.
Bro, that's Jordan, bro. Like that's to be expected.
Right.
What I'm saying is you saying that fans take something what the media is giving to them and run with it. What do you call this, bro? People call Jordan the GOAT. They've never seen him play. That's the same thing, bro. So what about when MJ left the tickets for the dude, and when the dude said who do you want me to tell him left the tickets? Jordan said God. Like, what are you talking about?
Did he say that for real? I didn't know about that one.
That.
I'm not saying you're lying. I didn't know about that one. Didn't know about that. That's kind of. I would never say something like that. But I hear you.
So what I'm saying is, I get what you're saying, bro. But fandom is fandom, bro.
Yes, it is.
Like I'm saying, when you have kids that's never seen Jordan play, bro, saying that he's the GOAT, nigga, bro, that's them following what they've been told, bro. Like that's just how it go, bro. Depending on what household you come up in.
That's fair. That's fair.
So I mean, that's all I wanted. That's all I really want to say is
no doubt
that the same lens that y'all like. I mean, you could criticize him. I mean, he's been criticized forever. It ain't gonna stop. It ain't gonna start today. It ain't gonna stop today. It is what it is. I'm just saying, I would rather y'all know that the same lens that y'all looking at LeBron through, y'all would not want Jordan. Because at the end of the day, like LeBron, with all this criticism that y'all done gave him for the last 22 years, man, I'm saying, man, the man has handled it impeccably. Like, it's nothing that I can say, like, you know what I'm saying? Like
yes.
Like I kind of expect the criticism, but I kind of expect him to expect it. So it's really like breathing to me. But so what I'm saying is that I just want y'all to understand that y'all wouldn't have wanted Jordan to be looked at through that same lens. Like y'all would not have.
So you know what I'll say? This is the last thing I'll say. By the way, great call, young disciple. This has been a good one, man. But I'll say that it wouldn't have been us who wouldn't have want Jordan to be looked at through this lens. His opposition wouldn't, because he'd take it out on them. that dude was psycho. So that's how I see it. That's how I see it. He just took it out on the opposition. Yes.
Bruce. Stop right there, bro. The man was human. The man pops passed away, man.
Yes.
Let's not. The man refused. The man quit. I mean, I call it quitting, but he quit for the second time because he didn't want to go to war without Phil Jackson and Scotty. Let's be real. If right now LeBron retires from the league, citing the reason that he's retiring is because a coach and a player is being taken away, y'all would kill LeBron, bro.
So I'll say this, and then we really got to move on. I'll say this. I wouldn't, because I don't think there's anything else he can do. I wouldn't. Believe it or not, I wouldn't.
No. You wouldn't kill him. You see, that's a win-win for you. See, I get, yeah. See, yeah, you're not getting wrong with that one, bro. That's a win-win for you. Man. That's a bit, bro. That's a bit, bro.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, but I appreciate the call.
No doubt, man.
Time, bro.
Hey, thank you, man. Great call, man. I appreciate it.
I bet.
Great call from Young Disciple. That was definitely I appreciate him giving me a different perspective on that. Thank you for that, Young Disciple. That was cool. All right, let's move on to the next topic, y'all. Boomer Esiason, former NFL quarterback, former Super Bowl participant with the Cincinnati Bengals, lost, I think, 20-16 in the Super Bowl in, I want to say, 1988, if I'm not mistaken, to the San Francisco 49ers. Shout out Laker Nation. That was Joe Montana's fourth and final Super Bowl championship. So yeah, he knows a little something about being an outstanding NFL quarterback. He knows a little something about winning. He knows what it takes to be successful at that position on that level. And as you can see from the thumbnail, we also have Shedeur Sanders. Depending on who you ask, either the first or the second best quarterback coming out in this year's quarterback draft. And if you ask me, I am, and I try to be objective here, but I'm a huge Shedeur Sanders fan. I think the dude is incredible. I don't think there's any other way to put it. I think he's incredible. I think that this is a guy who has the ability to make every throw. He's accurate, like he's insanely accurate. Kind of reminds me of CJ Stroud, but a little shorter. Deceptively athletic, faster than people think when he gets into the open field, but can really sit in the pocket, slice and dice, and manipulate coverages. Really knows what he's looking at, can go through his reads and progressions, and is tough as nails. We saw over the past 2 years with a less than outstanding offensive line. I'm not going to be disrespectful to those guys, but a less than outstanding offensive line, this guy was able to consistently, take a pounding pause and get back up and stand in there and look down the proverbial gun barrel and make every throw, and I think Shedeur Sanders is amazing. And it's funny how the draft evaluations are all over the place on him. I saw some today that have him as the 20th overall player in this draft. I've seen some people that say, he's a middle round pick, like a second day pick. I'm like, oh, what have they been watching? I've seen some people that say he could be a top 5 pick, a top 3 pick. I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? But I think, to me, he's easily my number one quarterback in this draft. Again, I think CJ Stroud is my comp for him in terms of an advanced level of cognition, an advanced level of reading defenses, delivering the football, standing in there, and while being sneaky athletic, right? And so I think Shedeur is that guy. Obviously, he comes with a lot of, I don't want to say baggage. He doesn't come with a lot of baggage. He's never gotten in any issue off the field, but he comes with a lot of hype, a lot of attention. Obviously, he's the son of Hall of Famer and now current Colorado Buffaloes coach, Coach Prime Deion Sanders. And so that can have its own trials and tribulations, maybe, because a lot of people aren't necessarily high on Coach Prime, the way he goes about things. And so, a lot of times that stuff kind of can unfortunately drip down to his kids, right? Shiloh and Shedeur, right? Honestly, like how people look at, like I've been told, that I don't like LeBron, and so my criticism drips down to Bronny. I'm not going to really get into that, but I can see where that analogy kind of works. So anyway, you look at Shedeur, and like I said, I think he's got it all. I think he's got every tool. He doesn't have elite arm talent, but he has really, really good arm talent. And again, his ability to go through the reads, go through the progressions, understand what he's seeing, make, top level accurate throws, man, I think is just special. I love it. This is a guy who has a relationship with Tom Brady. He's worked with him, I think, since high school. Obviously, Deion Sanders, him being who he is and having the connections he has put his kids in elite opportunity to prepare for this chance that they have to be NFL players and hopefully be NFL players on a high level, right? And so Steve Splendid says, I like Cam Ward. The kid is hungry. Shedeur doesn't have the arm that Cam does. No, he doesn't have the elite. He doesn't have the cannon Cam does, Steve. But I still think he can make every throw. You don't always need the cannon, right? He can make every throw regardless. And I think that his processor is way better. He may not have the higher ceiling in terms of physically. I think he's easily got the higher floor. And I'm a guy that likes to go with what I can see, right? Versus gambling on what might be there in the future. So I'm going to take the higher floor every time. And I think that if he's in the right situation or he has a weapon, I think that Shedeur is just going to continue to get better, along with good coaching, obviously. So anyway, so Boomer Esiason I think he has a Monday through Friday radio show on, I think it's The Fan in New York. His last team was with the Jets. So I guess he stayed in New York. And if we know, Shedeur Sanders just recently put out a rap song called Life. And I don't know if he wants to be a rapper or he just enjoys rapping, but it's right before this show came on. I actually watched the video and listened to the song. And okay, here goes. I know Edward's going to say something here, but if you all know me, I'm an East Coast guy and I love the East Coast style of hip hop. And I'll just say this, when I listened to Shedeur's song, I was not impressed at all. It was, in my humble estimation, it was not good. Like, I don't know why, if you're really not going to take time to put, pen to paper and really take pride in your bars, you're going to try rapping. Like this, all this mumble mouth crap, it's terrible. It's terrible. Like, rapping is an art form, right? It's an art form. It's not, well, it may not be an art form. I don't know. But when I was coming up, it was an art form, right? And so, we took pride in the bars that we crafted. The artists I love take pride, still do, in the bars that they craft. So when you hear people just, Dr. Seuss, Mother Goose, I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, do you care at all about what you're doing with this microphone? But anyway, he has a new song, and I'm sure it's going to be popular because he's a popular guy, right? And I thought it was terrible. But anyway, it led Boomer Esiason in his evaluation to have some interesting comments, because obviously the Jets need a quarterback and the Giants need a quarterback, and both are going to be drafting relatively high. So maybe both of them might have been able to be in play for Shedeur Sanders' services, right? Personally, I think he'd be a perfect fit with the Giants. You got Malik Neighbors there, an elite weapon at the wide receiver position. And then you got New York City, which I think Shedeur's personality would just be perfect for New York. So even with you being historic, you don't believe in no pen, no pad. I didn't say that, but I believe in, like, I think the best of the best. I think those guys really take time to craft their rhymes with a pen and a pad. So anyway, Laker Nation, I didn't know that. Wow. Okay. I didn't know that. That's something, we'll talk about that offline. Maybe that deserves a segment, because I really didn't, at the very least, a quick hit. I didn't know. Thank you for putting me on to that. We'll talk about it. But yeah, so Edward is no pen, no pad. I'm not really a fan of that. I think the best guys really take time, write down their rhymes. You writing, you got your notebook or whatever. Maybe even a lot of guys do it on their phones now. You know what I'm saying? You delete, you cross out, whatever it is. Nah, that line's not good enough. Let me redo that bar, blah, 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 right? But, it is what it is. Chris Whitfield says, oh, okay, all right. I rock with you, Chris Whitfield. Where you from, man? I don't blame you for that. I like KRS-One, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, Cool G Rap, Cool Mo D, LL Cool J, Biggie Smalls, Nas, Busta Rhymes, Jay-Z, Redman, DMX, Big Pun, Big L, Eminem. Okay, see, you know what hip-hop is. I rock with you, Chris Whitfield. I rock with you. Very good, very good. You're a hip-hopper. I like that. So, yeah, and guess what, though? All these guys, what do they have in common? They took rhyming seriously, right? rhyming was a real thing. And so to that point, and I'm not sitting here trying to dish Shedeur Sanders. Like, if he wants to rhyme, he's not a guy who at this point has to be out there busting his butt to craft great rhymes to get a demo deal, right? He's got money. He could pay for his studio time. He could pay for his brother has a media company, right? So it's nothing for him to get a video made, right? Now, me personally, I would prefer that he's just continuing to work on his craft as an elite passer, which he already is, but to continue to get better for the next level, right? But, I guess you can't do that 24/7, right? Although, flipping it back to basketball, a dude like Kobe, if he could have not slept and just worked out at basketball all day, every day, he would have done that, right? So, but again, everybody's different, right? So it is what it is. Yeah, man. Yeah, Steve. Yeah, big pun is, man. He had one of the best flows ever. Yeah. Steve, real quick, I don't want to digress, but check out Chris Rivers. That's Big Pun's son, and he rhymes a lot like him, and he is nasty. So check out Chris Rivers. Write that down and check him out when you get off this show. But anyway, yeah. So, yeah, whatever, Edward, whatever, man. But anyway, back to Boomer Esiason and Shedeur Sanders. By the way, if y'all haven't heard the song Life, go give it some listens on YouTube. Go listen to Shedeur Sanders' Life. It's a terrible song, but give him some listens because he's a cool cat. Anyway, so I guess Boomer Esiason, I didn't even realize he was an MVP. But anyway, he heard the song and he says, he says, where are we? He was unimpressed by the music and less impressed by Sanders' decision to make the song in the first place. He says, quote, "The reason I say he's out," because he took him out of his top picks. "The reason I say he's out is because I don't want my guy leading my team worrying about a rap career or any outside career. I want my quarterback to be the leader of the team. I want him solely focused on football and nothing else," unquote, right? And then he says, quote, "This will be discussed in a negative light with coaches and scouts," unquote. So I get that, right? When you're talking about a franchise quarterback of an NFL team, that is a marquee position in all of sports. We know that quarterback is the most important position in all of sports. The NFL is obviously the biggest, most valuable, most important sports league in America. And so if you have the opportunity to be drafted high and be the franchise quarterback, QB1 on any one of those 32 rosters, they want to know that you're going to take it seriously, and that's going to be your focus. Now, in a world where there are more distractions than ever, right? Everyone's not going to be Peyton Manning or Tom Brady living in the playbook, living, breathing, watching film. Like, people have other people have other opinions, people have other things to do, they have other parts of their life. And I respect that to an extent. But see, here's the thing. When you look at the all-time greats, like the greatest of the greats, they understand that their focus and their single-mindedness is what got them there, right? Again, I mentioned Kobe earlier, right? Absolute psycho. I mentioned Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. Their focus and their single-mindedness on being the best players they could possibly be is what got all these guys to the level that they got to, right? When you look at football, we'll talk about quarterbacks again, right? You're talking about your Peyton Mannings and your Tom Bradys, right? Tom Brady, and I'm not advocating for this necessarily, but Tom Brady lost a marriage because of his obsession with football and being the greatest possible player that he could be, which led him to being arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, right? The single-minded focus and dedication, right? Now, I'm not saying that when Shedeur eventually, if and when he eventually gets married and has a family and has kids, like, he shouldn't be able to figure out a way to compartmentalize and give them the time that they're needed, that they deserve as well. But for right now, you single, bro. This is the time when you should lock in and be focused on becoming the best quarterback you can be. And so to some extent, and I'm going to explain why I say to some, I understand Boomer Esiason's hesitation in terms of him saying he wants a guy that's completely locked in on football. Now, here's the flip side of it, right? Like, for instance, when I talked to my man Edward in the chat, right? Was it Ed Dog 1986? One of the things he always says was, "Why don't you have the same energy for such and such," right? And this is a perfect opportunity for me to utilize that. And I'm going to utilize that with Boomer Esiason. So he's getting on Shedeur Sanders for not making football like the end all be all of his life right now. Trevor Lawrence just got I want to say roughly $275 million contract, right? His contract is a total of $275 million. I can't remember the fully guaranteed money, but the point is $275 million contract extension after his, I want to say, third year, right? Now that's where the market is, so that's what it bears. However, when he was coming out prior to the draft, listen to the quotes regarding him. A former offensive coordinator said, quote, "Lawrence does not play the game with a passion. When first drafted by the Jags, he did mention that football was not his priority in life. Despite that generous and undeserved second contract, he definitely plays like football is not a priority. His play does not parallel his skill set. Don't see the leadership, the emotion, the excitement, and going through the motions and taking the weekly check are disservices to his teammates, the organization, and the fans," unquote. Okay, so prior to him getting drafted, he said that football is not his priority in life, right? He said, he said, quote, this is Trevor Lawrence now before he got drafted. He says, "It's not like I need this for my life to be okay. I want to do it because I want to be the best I can be. I want to maximize my potential. Who wouldn't want to? You kind of waste it if you don't. It's hard to explain that because I want people to know I'm passionate about what I do and it's really important to me. But I don't have this huge chip on my shoulder that everyone's out to get me and I'm trying to prove everybody wrong. I just don't have that. I can't manufacture that. I don't want to. I think that's unhealthy to a certain extent, just always thinking that you've got to prove somebody wrong. You've got to do more. You've got to be better," unquote. Now, I understand what he's saying to an extent, right? But GMs don't want to hear that. Coaches don't want to hear that. Owners don't want to hear that. They want to hear that you're a junkie, that you live, sleep, and breathe football like Andrew Luck did, like Peyton Manning did, like Tom Brady did, right? We brought up Tom Brady before, and like so many others did, right? Like Caleb Williams did up until this point, like CJ Stroud did, right? Like Michael Penix Jr. did, like all these guys that were coming out and coming into the league over the years, right? And so the question is now, people talked about it a little bit, but it wasn't a big deal. And even though you haven't seen all of that natural talent play out on the field, he only has one playoff win in all this time. Even though Shad Khan has spent the money to try and build up the team around him, he still got a massive extension while demonstrating that football is not as important to him as it should be for a guy that's that good, right? And so I'm really trying to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. So the question now is just like Ed Dog says to me, where's that same energy? And so that's what I'm asking Boomer Esiason. Where's that same energy for Trevor Lawrence? Now, I'm not saying that Boomer didn't have it, but I didn't hear it. I didn't hear that from him, right? So anyway, Boomer Esiason, he said what he said about Shedeur Sanders. He dropped him down in his rankings. I guess he said he's out on him because of the rap song. But here's the other deal, right? And again, I know it's two different sports, and I know that basketball is different. But if we remember, again, we keep talking about Kobe as one of the paradigms for hard work. But Kobe was a rapper, right? We remember that. I think he had a video with Brandy in it. Kobe's been rapping since high school, right? God bless the dead. Shaquille O'Neal was a rapper. He had a number of platinum albums. Just a couple of years ago, he got in that thing with Dame Lillard, and he scorched him on the victory track. He did a diss record for him. Dame Lillard is a rapper, right? And nobody gets on those guys. It hasn't stopped them from being, the best players that they could be. And so I look at it and I'm wondering, why is Boomer Esiason? What is it about Shedeur Sanders that's making Boomer Esiason really, go in on this? If there's anything he should be going in on, he should be like, yo, Shedeur, if you go rap, at least be good at it. Because he's not. I couldn't help it. No, seriously, if he need to tell him, if you're gonna rap, at least be good at it. Dame music is not bad, Laker Nation, but he got annihilated. He got scorched by Shaq when Shaq did the diss track over the victory beat. Shaq scorched him. That was ridiculous. And yes, Chris Whitfield, Heavy D is better than Hammer and Vanilla Ice. That's true. Although, because of Hammer's commercial success, people don't know that he was really raw and he was really a G. but that's a whole different thing. Yes, what's up, Doc, with the Fushnikins? Absolutely. Shaq killed that verse. Really, that whole album was good. It had good production. It had good rhymes. Like, Shaq can really go. If you look it up, Can't Stop the Rain remix, Shaq actually was on the track with Notorious B.I.G. and he held his own. So that should tell you right there. You rapping with one of the best of all time and you held your own. But the point I'm trying to make anyway is you look at this thing and you say, man, Boomer really went in on Shedeur Sanders and he didn't keep it objective because as far as I know, he didn't have those same commentaries to make about Trevor Lawrence, and that wasn't cool. So, again, I'm a big fan of Shedeur Sanders as a player. I think he's got all the tools. I think he should stop rapping because he's not good at that. But, that's a whole different thing. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead at this point. I'm going to put the number in the chat, and yeah, you guys can call in. I would love to hear your thoughts on, and I would also love to hear if anybody's actually heard the Shedeur Sanders song and what y'all think of it, because again, y'all already know I think it's not good at all. But I would love to hear your thoughts on that, if the song is any good. And I would love to hear, how you feel about Boomer Esiason's comments on Shedeur Sanders. I would love to hear if you think that Shedeur Sanders rapping is going to affect him as a quarterback in the NFL. Do you think that he should stick to quarterbacking and make that his primary focus? I'd like to hear all those thoughts. 904-219-8264. 904-219-8264. Let's see. Let's see what we got in the chat. I was talking. I missed some of that. Edward, man. Edward, stop. Why do you keep bringing up Gucci Mane? That dude. He's not good, Edward. He's not good, bro. I'm trying to tell you, he's not good. I tried to listen to your songs, man. You sent me the songs. I listened to him. He's not good. It's not, no, man. It's not about get off my lawn, Edward. It's just about people taking pride in, the words. People taking pride in the rhymes. That's important. Nas and Jay, that's Nas, not Naz, man. And no, there's way more than Nas and Jay-Z, man. Dante Brown said, you old men always hating on the youth. Tell me why you consider criticism hating. I want to hear that, Dante. I want to hear that. Is it hating to say one thing is definitively better than the other? Now, the reason I say this while I'm waiting to see if we get any calls, and I'm going to digress to the hip hop piece just a little bit, right? The reason I say this, that my era of hip hop is better than this era of hip hop for the most part, is because there is actually a seriousness about rhyming, right? There's actually linguistic techniques utilized, right? In linguistic and literary techniques actually utilized in writing the rhymes that you don't see today, right? At least not from a lot of these guys that are popular, right? Stuff like allegory, metaphor and simile, internal rhyme scheme, all of these actual technical aspects of writing rhymes and things like that you don't see a focus on that. It's so basic. Now, a lot of things today are watered down, unfortunately. I don't know what that is, what that can be attributed to, but with all the information at our disposal, I would think things would be more advanced. But on a technical level, people rhyming back then in the 90s and in the early to mid 2000s were far superior for the most part than dudes rhyming now. That's not hating. That's fact. If you actually listen to the rhymes then versus the rhymes now. But, you can disagree, and I'm sure you will. That's fine. But I am curious to know why you say that, it was old men hating on, what'd you say? Old men always hating on the youth. I think we also need to be careful when we utilize the term hating. That's a low information response. If you've been on this show, you know that's something I say. Low information response, i.e. you don't have a rational response. So the easy way to say is, oh, you just hating. Really? I'm just hating? Okay, explain it. Very few people can actually do that. But, it is what it is. Okay, looks like we're not going to get any calls on this topic. And I could really get into the hip hop thing and talk that all night. But that's not what this show is about. This is a sports show. And one of these days we might just totally digress. Maybe one of those dog days of summer where there's not a lot going on sports wise and just have a hip hop discussion. That could happen. But anyway, we're going to get on to the next topic in terms of the show and sports. All right. So here's the deal. Man, this is kind of This one was something that bothered me, right? We hear all the time, as you know, LeBron James he's on the way out, right? Like, well, I can't even say he's on the way out, right? This is a guy who is playing at a level where he presumably, if he wanted to, could probably play for like another 3 years and still be a very solid NBA contributor, right? And so LeBron James he's been playing for a long time. He's been the face of the league for a long time. Kind of took it over from Kobe, and between he and Steph, they've been sharing it, going back and forth, right? Let's see. Chris Whitfield says most independent contractors have ghostwriters, but they are writing to a ghost. Interesting. Okay. What do you feel about ghostwriters, Bruce? Laker Nation, and then I'll get back to the topic. I don't really like them. You know what I'm saying? I understand why people do it, but sometimes you can hear the actual ghostwriter style in that person when they're rapping. For instance, man, I can't remember. Fat Joe had an album ghostwritten by Lil Wayne, and you could actually hear Lil Wayne's style in that album. And then some of his earlier stuff, like the Don Cartagena album, and I think the Loyalty album, a lot of the TS guys, the Terror Squad guys, were ghostwriting for him, and you could hear their style in those songs. So, you know, it is what I'm not a huge fan of ghostwriters, but it is what it is. All right, back to basketball. So we've been hearing, like, at some point LeBron has to be done, right? And also it would be beneficial for the NBA, on the whole, to work towards getting a new player to being the face of the NBA, right? Now, it's not something you can just bestow on somebody. You kind of have to figure out who is the person who has the skill set, who is the person that is marketable enough, who is the person that fans want to see, who is the person you could push your weight behind as an entity, right? That can really carry the mantle of being the face of the NBA. And there's a lot of things that kind of go along with that, right? As I mentioned, marketability, skill set, winning, exciting player that fans love to see, somebody that moves the needle, right? And so the NBA is trying to figure out, what are they going to do, right? What are you going to do in terms of who's going to be the guy when LeBron steps away? Because you don't want another situation. See, the NBA was lucky that when Kobe kind of took his step down, right, and wasn't the same player towards the end of his career, and then he had to step away, LeBron was there kind of at the peak of his powers, so he could step right in. The NBA was lucky in that case because back in the in 93, 94, they did a poor job in being prepared. Now, granted, Michael Jordan kind of did this unexpectedly, but they did a poor job in being prepared for when Michael Jordan stepped away. So you saw the 2 years, 93, 94, 94, 95, when Olajuwon and the Rockets won back-to-back championships. Then Jordan came back, won 3 more championships, and everything skyrocketed for the league again. But when he was done after the 98 season, after that last dance season, oh man, keep your heads ringing. That was a beautiful, beautiful track. Man, that production was crazy. Anyway, man, you keep distracting me, Laker Nation, man. Let's get back to it, bro. So anyway, what was I saying? When we look at what happened to the NBA, even though there was some really good basketball, right? They took a big step down in terms of popularity, right? Until Kobe was kind of really able to, LeBron came into the league and Kobe really took over and helped to lift the league back up again. And then, like I said, when Kobe was kind of at the end, then LeBron took it over and LeBron and Steph did their thing back and forth. And that really helped to hold the league up. But now, you're wondering who it's going to be, right? So you don't want to be in a position from 98, 99, 99, 2000, all the way till about maybe 2004, kind of, even though there was some really great basketball being played, wondering who's the face of the league, who's going to carry it, and dealing with the kind of the downtimes in the NBA in terms of ratings and excitement. Why? Because Michael Jordan just wasn't there anymore, despite Allen Iverson doing his thing and being amazing, and Steph Marbury and Kobe Bryant and Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan and Shaquille O'Neal. So you don't want to be in that position. So now the league is desperately trying to figure out who's going to be the next face. And so now you have an interesting conundrum, right? And why do you have an interesting conundrum? Because you're in a situation where so many of the best players in the league, well, not so many, but some of the best players, like the top 5 guys, are international, right? Obviously, you have Jokic. He has no interest whatsoever in being the face of the league. All he wants to do is ball, win, go home to Serbia during the offseason and be with his horses, right? And he loves to raise horses. That's his thing. So he doesn't want to be in that situation. You have Luka Doncic, who is Slovenian, right? Now, he's not as reserved or as stoic as Jokic is, but still, he's not an American guy. You have Wemby, who just got here, who looks like he's going to be a real dog. You see, and I love what I love about Wemby is that he's skilled. Still takes too many threes for me, but that is what it is. It's the modern game. But he's super skilled, but he also got the dog. Like, he wants it, right? He wants to dominate. He wants to win. You saw that just in the All-Star contest, the All-Star game the other night, right? And while a lot of guys don't play as hard in the All-Star game, he was out there playing D, blocking shots, trying to score in the post, everything. So respect due to Wemby. So you got him. He's French. Obviously, Embiid, if he could stay healthy, he might have a shot at it. But, again, he's from Africa, from Cameroon, if I'm not mistaken. So that right there can create a divide with many American fans. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, an incredible player, but he's Canadian and also doesn't seem to have the best, the biggest, brightest personality, right? Jason Tatum, who wants to be the face. I think I heard him say that before in an interview. He would love to be the face of the NBA. Really skilled player, but he just has no personality. So that's not for him. And it's cool because he's the kind of guy that never gets in any trouble off the court. You always see him with his son, so he looks like a very involved father. That's something that the NBA would love to be able to promote, but he just doesn't have any personality. He doesn't have it, right? So, like, the cameras don't just go find him. He's not one of those guys, right? Like a LeBron, like a Kobe. So the next guy is who? Anthony Edwards, right? He's super athletic. He plays hard. He attempts to defend. He talks his trash. He's got a big smile. He's he's really good, and he is the guy I think that a lot of people would love to see being the next face of the NBA. Now, this is right before the All-Star break. I think he had 49 points this game, but you can just see, like, he's got a lot, man. He's got the total package in terms of being a player. Now, again, he's another guy, in my estimation, shoots too many threes. I think he's shooting like 10 threes a game this year, 10 or 11, but I think he's almost at 40%. So, but I mean, he's like a regular guy. He can drive to the basket. He can bang on you. He can shoot the three. But again, he defends. He's down to earth. He doesn't get in any trouble off the court. And he just loves to hoop. But you look at Anthony Edwards and you're wondering, like, what's missing, right? That's the guy the NBA would love to have. But so you ask yourself, why is the NBA want Anthony Edwards to be the guy so badly, right? So remember, I talked about some of the top players in the league, right? I talked about your Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and I talked about your Luka Doncic, and I talked about your Nikola Jokic, and I talked about, when you're healthy, your Joel Embiids, and I talked about your Wemby, who's a young dog. I talked about all these guys, right? But guess what? As I mentioned, all these guys are foreign players. Me personally, I come from two immigrants, right? My parents didn't even know each other before they came to this country. So I have no problem with foreign players or foreign people on the whole, right? My wife is an immigrant, right? So I look at all of this, and none of that means anything to me. But the average American, and it's not taking a shot at American, but there's a concept, I'm sure you guys have heard of it. It's called American exceptionalism, right? That's just the belief that America stands on its own, on top of the world. And unfortunately, there's a kind of mentality that a lot of other places in the world are irrelevant, and people from those places aren't irrelevant. And so, like anyone else, there's a desire to connect to people who you find to be like you. There's a desire to connect to people to whom you feel you have something in common, right? And so what happens is you have all these European players, and the average American is not going to feel like they can connect with said player, right? And so that makes it a lot harder, whether it's something of a language barrier, right? Whether it's cultural barriers, whether, whatever it may be, that makes it a lot of American fans find it very difficult to connect with. And so it's my firm belief, I could be proven wrong, maybe Wemby will be the guy to do it, but it's my firm belief that an international player, someone born overseas, a foreigner, will never be the face of the NBA. They're just not going to. We heard Stephen A. Smith say on First Take the other day that the NBA is an American-bred league. It's a domestic league and an American game, being basketball, which is odd because Dr. Naismith was Canadian, but whatever. But yeah, so he says that basketball is an American game. The NBA is an American league, a domestic league. And so as such, like, a European or an international player can never be the face of our league, right? And so I think there's some truth to that, but I also think he was being disingenuous because he didn't want to say what I just said. And what I just said is that on the whole, Americans generally are not going to accept an international player as the face of anything American, right? Just you got to come out and say it. So anyway, Anthony Edwards was asked about being the face of the NBA going forward. So I just got a couple of clips here of what he has to say. So we'll go ahead and play that. They'll be very short. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about it some more.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. You can and will be that guy.
Well, I'm capable of being that guy, but I don't want to be that guy. Put it like that. I want to be the guy to just show up and hoop and just kill dudes and go home.
Do you consider yourself the top candidate to be the next face of the league?
No, not really.
Why?
That's what they got. That's what they got win before.
Okay, so that was two separate situations. So the first one, he was on the set of one of the NBA shows, and they were asking, what is it, guy? Can you be that guy? And he's like, yeah, I could be that guy. I can, but I don't want to be that guy. Like he said, I want to be the guy, shows up, gets busy, balls, and kills you, and then goes home, right? And it's funny that his idol is Kevin Durant, and that's the exact same mentality that Kevin Durant has, right? And that's weird to me, right? I get, you want to go out and hoop, but you're a professional player, and you're that good that people are looking at you to be the face of the league, and you could care less. All you want to do is just come hoop and go home. Like, you have to be special in order to have people even look at you in that light. And they have to believe that you're even capable of carrying that mantle, right? Now, I'm not saying that's for everybody. And that right there, let me big up LeBron James for this. Everyone isn't built to carry the mantle of being the face of the NBA for a little bit. Furthermore, an extended amount of time. And LeBron has done that, never gotten in any problems. Now, do I agree with everything he's done? No. Do I think that some of his antics and some of his behaviors have led to worse situations in the league? Yes, but on the whole, LeBron has done a good job and a fair job of being the face of the NBA, has never embarrassed the league in any way, never caused any problems, never been in any issues off the court. So all the while, winning multiple championships and multiple MVPs. So that's pretty much what the face of the league does, right? He did that, and he's done it for quite some time. And so Anthony Edwards, to say that and to have that Kevin Durant mentality it's kind of weird to me. I don't know that I like it. I almost feel like when you have that mentality, yeah, you want to come out, you want to show off your skills, you want to kill somebody, but do you care about winning? Do you care about everything that comes with greatness? I don't think you do. I don't know that Anthony Edwards actually cares about greatness. That's so weird to me, right? And then you heard in the second part of the clip, when he was at the press conference, and the reporter asked him, about being the face of the league, and he says, that's what they got Wemby for. I thought that was really weird. Like, is he trying to make a point that they being the league, wants Wemby to be the face of the league, which would make sense, right? You want an international player if you can make it happen. Why? Because the league doesn't seem to care that much about the domestic audience nor the domestic product. They want to continue to grow the league overseas. And we've talked about that. Why? Because there's a lot of untapped money overseas, right? And so if you can get somebody who's international to be the face of the league overseas, well, now you got an even bigger pot to put your hand in to fill your coffers, right? So I get that too. So I'm interested to know, what was Anthony Davis thinking about when he made that commentary and saying, like, nah, that's what they got Wemby for. That was neat. Not neat in a good way. But I'm also wondering, like, why would you not want to, if you're Anthony Edwards, if you're that special and you are, and you're saying, I could be that, I just don't want to be that. Like, what's the deal? I don't get it. Let's see. Lincoln Nation says the 4 commissioners are having a call before the conference meeting in Dallas to discuss. Yeah. I'm tracking that. Why are you bringing that up now, man? We're not talking college football now. But yeah, I did hear about that. Let's see. Oh, Lincoln Nation, why you didn't bring up your cowardly Trojans out here trying to duck my Irish? But anyway, Edwards says Victor will soon work out with your dream and be better. So here's my thing. Even if he does work out with Dream, like, I don't understand why these guys are doing it when so few of them actually go into the post and employ what Dream is teaching them, right? That's what I don't get. What is the point of paying Dream, I think it's like 50 grand, and working out with him and, you know, trying to learn what he can teach you because, you know, his level of greatness, but then not employing it or not being allowed to employ it by the team that you play for? I really don't get that. I just don't. Let's see. Chris Whitfield, no confidence. Are you saying Anthony Edwards doesn't have confidence? Is that what you're saying? Woodage says Anthony Edwards just wants to be a basketball player and doesn't want the celebrity and fame that comes along with it because of how many players didn't know how to handle that pressure. So I get it. I get it. But again, if you're, and that's funny because I've always said, like, if I could have, you know, I've always, you know, give me the money. I don't want the fame. So I totally get it, because with the fame comes all that extra stress. But when you're in this situation, like, it's really hard to just be a basketball player and be great, but not have the other stuff. And like, if you really care about this league, do you want to see it go to, you know, again, like Stephen A says, this is an American league and it's the domestic product and this is an American sport? Because look, I guarantee when Anthony Edwards was in the Olympics, he didn't want to see America lose to, you know, the other teams. So why would you want to hand over your league to a player from another country? I really don't get that. Woody says Embiid was going to work out with Hakeem, but then got hurt again. So it's funny. I think Embiid is kind of, I don't know if he still does. I know he had an issue with Dream a couple of years ago because Dream said he would take Jokic over him. And I don't know if Dream did that on purpose to kind of maybe stoke Embiid's fire. But I think the next game, Embiid gave Jokic like 47 and 17, totally destroyed him, like annihilated him. I was like, damn, you know, but okay, my bad, Edward. He didn't play against him in Denver. He only did that in Philly. Like, I don't know what that's going, but anyway, it's not that serious. What's good, my brother? What's good? Another member of the channel. It's not that serious. Good to see you here. By the way, everybody, I hope you guys have clicked that like and subscribe button if you're here. Definitely appreciate you being here. We need those likes. It helps the channel move out and get along to more people. If you haven't already, please click that like. Please click that like. All right. Edward says it'll take time. Look at Giannis. Mid-range is improving. Absolutely. But Giannis, I don't think can ever be the face of the league. He just can't. Even though he does work, like, his game is not aesthetically pleasing enough to be the face of the league, if you know what I'm saying. Like, so not only do you like it's a whole package, right? And then unfortunately, if we're honest, like, Giannis, it doesn't bother me, but Giannis has what many Americans would perceive as a heavy accent. So I think that a lot of them might not want to hear that when he's doing interviews and doing commercials and stuff, even though he's got some commercials. All that stuff really plays a role, believe it or not. And so Giannis will never be the face of the league. The Greek freak, that's not going to happen. It just is what it is. Let's see. The American players aren't worthy to be the face of the league. I agree with that too, but it's not just about the players. It's about the fans, and it's about the marketing and the big corporations that are going to attach themselves to you as the face of the league. All that stuff matters, man. All that stuff matters. So yeah, Anthony Edwards does not have any interest in being face of the league. I'm not sure why, but it is what it is, right? I'm gonna go. Yeah, Edward. Hakeem said a couple of years ago. I don't know if he said that permanently or I don't know why he said it, but he was asked about it, and I think he said he would take Joker over Embiid. Yeah. And so immediately after that, like within the next couple of weeks, Joker got totally annihilated by Embiid. And again, I don't know if Dream did that to push the button, because he knows that Embiid is on record saying that when he started playing basketball back in Africa, one of his coaches gave him an Olajuwon tape, and he said he just wore it out, watching it over and over again, and then going out and trying to practice the moves. And it's funny because he doesn't quite move like him, but you can see some Olajuwon in his post game when you watch Embiid play. Well, you know, in the few times that Embiid's on the floor, but when you watch him play, when he is out there, you can see evidence that he studies Olajuwon. So I don't know if Olajuwon knew that and was just trying to press the button. You know, I don't know, but he did say that. So I don't know. But let's go ahead. I'm going to open up the phone lines, 904-219-8264, 904-219-8264. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on Anthony Edwards, why he doesn't want to be the face of the league. If you believe he's capable of being face of the league, what players you do feel are capable of being face of the league, and if an international player could ever hold that position. So yeah, waiting on you. Go ahead, give us a call. Let's hear what you got to say on that. MBU was probably super quick before the injuries kicked in. Yeah, he was. Like, if you just go look, I think you can look on YouTube, Embiid post moves. Yo, son is nice. And again, that's why, like, I push back so much on this, this Joker is all this and all that stuff, because there's not really much big man competition and he doesn't defend. So, like, how good can he be? That's a problem for me. Let's see. Greg Oden was the worst. So this is the thing. Like, Greg Oden wasn't that bad, but he's another guy that was cursed by the injury bug, man. Those injuries can really ruin somebody's career, and it's tough. But I don't think that Greg Oden was that bad. He would have been pretty solid if he could have stayed healthy. Laker Nation, what's good, man?
Why are you trying to start with me, Bruce?
I'm not trying to start with nobody. What you talking about?
Yeah, you did.
What?
You brought up that Notre Dame crap.
Hey, man, you bringing up college football. We're not even talking about college football right now. You wanted to bring it up, talk about your cowardly Trojans. I'm just saying.
Man, don't get me started on you, Bruce.
I'm just saying. Y'all the ones trying to duck out of
I
100.
don't want to hear nothing about no source coming from a Notre Dame fan.
Look it up. Look it up.
Man,
look it
I
up.
don't want. Hey, man, I don't.
Look it up. That's all I'm saying.
Brucey.
Do you have a call? Do you have something to say about the topic, Laker Nation?
Brucey. Don't start with me.
Do you have something to say about the topic, brother?
Don't start with me.
I'm not starting nothing. You can look it up.
Yeah, you did.
It's
you started. You started.
Listen, it's not my fault the Trojans are trying to be cowards. That's not on me.
You start.
Okay. Do you have something about the Ant-Man topic and facing the NBA, Laker Nation?
This guy, yeah. You want to change subject?
I'm just. That's what we're talking about.
I'm the face of the league. How about that?
You can be the face of the league. Ant-Man don't want it. Go get it.
Man. He don't. How is he gonna be the face of the league anyway?
I think he, based on what they are looking for, they being the powers that be, based on what the powers that be are looking for in order to be the face of the league, I think that he could be. Does that mean he should be? I don't know, but I think he could be.
Man, the only two that I see that can step out and be the face of the league, and show that they can carry is SGA and Wemby.
So that
players going into the future.
I don't know if SGA, as good as he is, I don't know if he has the personality for it. Wemby has it all, but again,
man, Steve, you ain't gonna go to South Central and say that, man. Hush.
No, he wouldn't go to South Central and say that. That wouldn't be smart. Why would he do that?
ain't no soft over there, bro. Chill out. That's trying to piss me off tonight.
He's not talking about the fans over there. He's talking about them. But anyway, where were we? Yeah, so Wemby, I don't know if America's ready to accept, a European guy being the face of the league. That's the other problem.
They ain't got no choice.
You think?
Who do you got?
I don't. I have no idea who it's going to be.
Once LeBron steps down, who's going to carry the league?
I don't know, but I'll tell you. Think about, why do you think they're trying to build so much hype on Cooper Flag? Because they want him to be it. Think about it. They've been waiting for the next great white hope since Larry Bird stepped away from the game, right? And they're saying Cooper Flag may well be it. He might be the one, right? And so that's what they're really looking for, and that's fine. But I don't. I think that's what they're waiting for. So
I don't know. I gotta see I haven't caught none of his games this year yet.
He could ball. I think he's been player of the week like eight or 10 times already in the ACC. Like, now, don't get me wrong, people vote on that, but you know he can do it though.
Yeah, he hooped down here, and he hooped down here in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I think he's from Maine originally.
He's well known out here.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he played the camps and whatnot. But yeah, he was on the USA select team, and they said he did work against the USA team. So, you know, I don't know if that means something or not.
Well, that caught the attention, but it's like I'm not talking about the vets in there now. I'm talking about the next generation coming up.
Yeah, I know. I really don't know who it might be.
Going to carry it for the next 15 years.
15 is a stretch. I don't know, man.
But they're not putting their stock behind nobody besides Curry and LeBron right now. And it's also like no ratings are up when anybody else plays except for when LeBron plays Curry.
Right.
And when Wemby's on national TV.
Well, at some point they're gonna have to figure that out, aren't they?
Well, I think SGA should be the next one.
But you gotta have the personality, and I don't think he has that though. And I'm not trying to diss my man. I just don't think he has that. I don't.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But I had a comment for what was that other? Who was you arguing? Who was you yelling at before the last topic?
I have no idea.
That Dante kid.
Oh yeah. He was. I was asking him about what he meant by saying old guys always hating on the young people or something like that. But he just disappeared. He didn't answer me. Normally, when people call you a hater, they're not. You know, it's a low information response. It is what it is.
No, what's happening with that is you got people that know nothing about the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Is telling these young MCs that are coming out what to write and say about their own culture.
Right.
And that's why the old cats are not backing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the OGs aren't backing it, because they're like, you ain't gonna tell us what's going on in our neighborhoods and stuff like that, or about our culture when you don't know nothing about it.
Right.
You're just a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to see people mindlessly nod their head and dance to retarded shit.
Right.
And as long as that money come in, y'all don't care.
Right.
Like, for example, that K-Dot and Drake so-called beef. That's all mainstream just for them to, for that money, that paper trail to go through.
Okay, I can see that.
Damn. It ain't about I know you're not a K-Dot fan, but
nope.
That's all it was about. And another thing I want to touch is why do people keep bringing up Jordan in these conversations? In terms of what? When we trying to hold another person accountable for the stuff that they pull, why we always gotta bring Jordan up? Because Jordan is the standard. He is the example. He is the best to ever do it. So when you're getting compared to him and you're being in a so-called, GOAT argument, then that's what's going to happen. There is no GOAT argument. Agreed. But to most people there is. So it don't make any sense, because if you're gonna bring him up, say all the facts. Like, he didn't quit as people trying to make it seem. You got an owner that was trying to break that team up during the 3-peat and brought an unqualified coach that's never coached in the league to take over Phil Jackson's job while they were still winning championships. So if you're going to bring that up, bring up the whole truth. That's why he left. He's like, if you're going to force, because they forced Phil out. Because he wanted that guy in there. And Jordan, Pippen, none of them, they were like, and it wasn't just Jordan that walked away. All of them walked away. They're like, we're not going to stay around if that's what you're going to do. We built it with this group here. Let us go out on our own merit. You know, if we go out and get beat, then that's cool. But don't snatch it from him. That's why they broke it. That's why he left. He left. Pippen was out of it was leaving. Phil already said that he was gone, that he was leaving because he wasn't going to deal with it. That's why he left.
Right.
It wasn't because he didn't quit. Like, just tell the truth.
Front office, man. Front office can they can make or break a situation even when you got everything else in place. And we know that was not Reinsdorf, Krause. Yeah, he was determined that he was going to make it happen without Phil, and if need be, without Jordan. Which I don't know what he was thinking, but hey,
that's how that is. But going back to what Atman said, that's just basically the mentality of this era basketball players.
Agreed.
Like, I get it, yeah. You know, he was honest, but if anybody don't, you know, if they say, hey, if they walk up to you and say, hey, Bruce, we want to make you the face of the league, this, that, and the third, we're going to put this behind you. We feel like you can carry it. If you don't, be like, shit, let's give it a shot.
Right.
You soft.
No, you're right.
Point blank.
Yeah. And let me, while I got you, this is what Stephen A. Smith actually had to say. He says, I don't believe an international player can be the face of the NBA. I know they're global iconic figures. Their popularity extends globally, but the NBA is an American-born sport. It needs to resonate in America. And if it doesn't resonate in America, then it's not going to matter to America how you resonate beyond. That's a fancy way of saying exactly what I said, right? American exceptionalism, American ethnocentrism, i.e., nothing else matters outside of our own borders. And that is why, and he's right. I'm right there with him. He wrapped it up nicely, but at the end of the day, most Americans don't care to see an international player be the face of a domestic league. That's all there is.
They're going to back who they want to back. And and that's who you make the face of your league, who your fans is backing, but they don't care about what the fans want.
Right.
It's obvious about the moves that they're making.
That's true.
So it don't matter if they're international, it don't matter if they're American born, it don't matter what nationality or their skin color. If they like you, they're gonna back you.
Yeah, but being American born leads a lot to said like. So that's the whole point of that. But you got anything else, man? Go ahead and wrap this up and then move on to the last topic.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I don't give a rat's ass about anybody's opinions. I went there. I'm from there. There's no softness when it comes to USC. That's all a bunch of mumbo jumbo because you weigh in another area shoveling your snow. So that's school in the middle of the hood, so you can get that out of there.
No, we talking about the.
I don't.
All right, let me digress from it. We talking about the football program here, right? And that is soft. And the reason I say that's soft, right?
I'm talking about the football program.
Right.
I don't have no facts. Only thing that you sent me something from a Notre Dame fan.
All right, but relax. Hold on.
Of course, we're rivals. Of course, they're going to talk. They're going to talk on that slant.
That's fine. That's fine. But I'm not even just talking about that.
I'm not going to take that as
I got you.
As factual.
I got you, but hold on. But it actually is that they're trying to work on possibly getting out of that 100-year rivalry, 100+ year. But here's the thing, right? The big thing that they're talking about, having to fly, all over the country to play these games, because obviously the Big Ten stretches from California all the way to Maryland, right? So East Coast to West Coast, and Mid-America, all that. And so it's a lot of travel back and forth. This is why I say they're soft. Notre Dame's been doing that since they were riding the train, since before planes became, a national easy way of travel, right? Newt Rockne was literally getting his guys on the train, going out there, playing USC, come back and playing Army the next week in New York, right? So I say all this to say, we've been doing this. Notre Dame has been doing this for over 100 years. USC has to do it for 1 year, and now they're freaking complaining. That is soft. So you can take it how you want to take it, but it is soft. You trying to duck out after 1 year.
That's your opinion. That's y'all choice. Y'all chose to be independent. So that is y'all.
Actually, we didn't. So
no, y'all made that. No, y'all made that choice.
No, we didn't make the choice.
Y'all had options to join conferences.
No. Do you know why? You know what? I'm not. No. I'm not even going to tell you. You can look up why Notre Dame is independent. You can look that up.
So y'all flying everywhere. I don't want to hear that argument because that's y'all choice.
You can look up why Notre Dame is independent. I don't have to argue with you.
Flying from Notre Dame, I'm not making no excuses. I gotta look into this before I comment on it fully.
Yeah, you do that.
I'm just not gonna let you disrespect my alma mater because I went there.
Mm-hmm.
So
you do that. You look into it.
It's a difference flying from LA across country every week than from Gary, Indiana, which is in the middle of the United States. Now, travel miles are not the same.
So wait a minute.
You can take it however you want.
When Notre Dame goes to MetLife Stadium, when Notre Dame goes to the East Coast, right? MetLife Stadium to play Navy or Army or whoever it is they play out there, right? Or when they go play Rutgers or whatever it may be, they had to play all those, and then they got to fly back the other way and go play Stanford on the West Coast. How is that not the same? Yeah, I thought so.
Gary, Indiana is in the middle of the United States.
First of all, South Bend, Indiana. That's number one, right? South Bend, not Gary. Two different things. Next up, I believe that's me. But anyway, next up, you can say that. But the fact is, when Notre Dame got to go from one side of the country to the next, it's the same thing. When USC flies from USC to Minnesota, that's not going all the way to the East Coast, is it? Right? That's in the middle of the country. So what's your argument? It's not standing up right now.
It is standing up. So you ain't flying from you ain't flying out of California.
No, but when you fly from Indiana to California, what's your difference?
You're saying that's the argument. They're saying they want to pull out of the rivalry because of the travel. I gotta look into that.
Okay,
that don't make any sense.
Okay, you do that.
So
you won't be upset.
Look into that, and then I'll comment. I'll comment on it. But
very good. We'll do that.
I don't know who made the decision to disband the Pac-12 and have them join the Big Ten or whatever. They knew that they were going to play Penn State and all of them before they even signed that contract.
Mm-hmm.
So that don't make any sense.
No, the Pac-12's previous Pac-12's previous not AD, their previous president, was it Larry Scott? He was bad. He set you all up with a horrible TV deal that ended up taking you all down the toilet. But anyway, we'll talk about that another time.
Look at the fact that you're going up and down the coast, and you fly out to the East Coast and the Midwest maybe once or twice a year.
What?
You got to adjust to doing that every week.
What? All right. So you know what? All right. Do your research. We'll talk about it.
They got to look into that too.
All right. We'll talk about it. But yeah, let me go, and we'll get to the next the final topic of the night. Thanks for the call, brother. All right, y'all. Another good call from Laker Nation. Trojans. All right. We will go now to final topic of the night. Let's get a little bit of NFL in. Why? Because NFL is king. So we got to talk about that. All right. So we heard and leading up. Oh, hold on. My God, let's go. Bruce, what up?
What's going on, man? How y'all
Maintaining, my brother. Doing all right, man. How about you?
Fine yourself.
You breaking up, man. You breaking up. I want to hear what you got to say. You breaking up.
Hold on.
Okay.
Do you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead, man.
You got me now?
Yes, sir.
Ant-Man don't want to be the face of the league. I'm assuming he might don't want the pressures of being the face of the league.
I think you're right.
Understand what I'm saying? You feel me?
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
He might don't want the scrutiny that comes with it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody highlighting every little thing, and every little thing that goes wrong in the league, everything he do is going to be highlighted. So he maybe don't want that in his life. He may want to keep his life private.
Right.
Another thing, you can't say that a small market can't have the face of the league. Because LeBron was a small market, and he became the face of the league.
No, I didn't. I don't think I said that. I don't think I said that.
No, I'm saying I was going to say that because Ant-Man in Minnesota.
Okay, I got
that's
you.
Not no real big, huge market. Wemby's with the Spurs. That's not no real big huge market.
Nope.
So,
You breaking up again, man. You breaking up again.
Hold on. Let me get another spot. Hold on.
All right. Appreciate it.
Hold on, bro.
Okay.
Hold on for 1 sec. My bad, yo. I'm trying
you
to get it. Yeah, maybe I need a new phone. I'm being too cheap.
I got you, man.
You hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Like I was saying, maybe they're trying to indirectly they want Luka to be the face of the league, but you know how that's going to go in America.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we talk about that on First Take today about a foreign player being the face of the NBA, which I see no issue with it.
You don't, but I think most of America does.
Yeah. Most of America, of course. You know how it is.
Yeah, I do.
You know how the good old boy network is.
Yeah.
But Ant-Man, he would be a great face of the league. Got charisma. He's tough. He make people laugh. He got a great smile.
Yeah.
They try to push that on him for the past 2 years. Remember they were trying to call him coming to Jordan. He looked like Jordan.
That was too much.
They trying though.
They did, yeah.
They most definitely trying to push that on the league, and he made that great run in the playoffs last year, which was a big thing. He got tired though. That last series got wore out.
I was about to say he ran out of gas. Yeah,
ran out of gas. You could tell. I don't think he take the gym as serious as he did last year. I'm pretty sure he locked it now.
I agree. Agreed.
I think Kobe would have loved Ant-Man.
I think so too.
I think Kobe really would have loved Ant-Man. Who else you think Kobe probably would have loved? Like that's up and coming. Shea.
Yeah. I think he'd have been a big fan of his. Yes, that's a great call. Tyrese Maxey.
Tyrese Maxey. Love Tyrese Maxey. But you know, Kobe was stern, man. He couldn't stand. Well, I don't mean to go to the Lakers. I'm just gonna go real quick. Remember when they got the Dwight Howard? He was furious at the Dwight Howard because he was joking too much. He didn't like that he played.
Taskmaster.
Yes, he liked to joke and play too much. And he used to always say the appreciation he had for Shaq. You see why he had to appreciate Shaq because and to see how great Dwight Howard was. And he's just joking. That clown, he's a clown. He was clowning and Kobe.
So when I heard Dwight Howard's interview, he was saying like, that's just him. He said because he loved the game so much and it brought him so much joy. He's like, why would I be around there with a screw face looking mean and all that? He said, I love playing this game. It's done so much for me. It brings me so much joy. So I'm having fun. And he also said that when he got to Orlando, he was the guy. He didn't have any veteran on that team to teach him how to lead and to be that. So I'm like, that's fair. I never even looked at it that way.
Yeah, truthfully, I ain't like Dwight Howard's character. He used to play and laugh too much. I didn't like it. But you can't take away his effort in his prime.
No, you can't. You can't. No,
he
not
played
at
hard.
all.
He was a tip-top shape. He played hard. He played big. But back to Ant-Man,
yes.
I just truly believe Ant don't want what the pressure of being the face of the league is. Want to ball, feed his family. I don't think you want the scrutiny to come with the face of the league. Like, let me ask you this: has any player in history ever came out and said, "I'm the face of the league," or is always the media in the NBA that push that on a person?
I don't recollect any player saying it. I think you're right. I think it's kind of guys are anointed, right? So like Magic and Bird held it jointly. I think we can agree with that. And then of course, Michael Jordan after that. And like even when he was gone, like 94, 93, 94, 94, 95, there was kind of a void there, right? Nobody knew what it was going to be. And then obviously he came back and grabbed it right back. And then when he was done, it was like, okay, what now? And then I think it was kind of like they didn't really have one until like maybe 2005. And then Kobe just took that over and he had it probably till about 2010, 2011. And then LeBron took that, and between LeBron and Steph, they've had it since.
Don't disrespect my man AI like that. He was the face of the league for a few years.
No, I absolutely disagree. I don't see that.
Not commercially. But he was the face of the league.
Well, I think
in the early era, he was the face.
But the commercial piece has to be a big part of it. That's just that's not all of it, but that's a part of it.
I'm sorry, bro. Yeah, you're right. But we had to try to act like AI wasn't a big commercial success with his tennis shoes.
That's true. He did.
The way he dressed and his crossover and his Jada Kiss commercials.
Yeah.
So AI was the face of the league when he crossed Ty Lue over and stepped over. He was at his peak. He was that guy.
Maybe that might be something I need to go back and. You might be right.
Those him and Vince Carter years. It's kind of the faces of the league.
The problem is that Vince was in Canada. That's the only problem with that.
Yes, but he was American.
Yeah. But him being in Canada, it was hard for us to be able to see him often.
So we couldn't consider Shaq and Kobe faces of the league after Mike retired.
Yeah, that's what I don't know, man. It never felt that way. I don't know.
Right. It didn't feel that way. Hey, even though he was, so you don't think no international player could be the face of the league?
I don't. And it's not because I don't think they're deserving. I just think the American mindset won't allow it. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying I just don't think that I don't see it.
Well, we all know LeBron, he make it known that he the face of the league. He abuses his power.
Hey, but look, here's the thing. LeBron has never gotten in any trouble off the court.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's won a lot. He's been MVP. He's put up a lot of numbers. I mean, he's done a good job as face of the league. Do I agree with the way he moves all the time? No, but he's done a good job in that position. And to your point, everybody don't have the shoulders to carry that burden, and he does, and he has for a long time. So I gotta keep it a buck there.
Yes, but Ant-Man, I would love for him to really take that forefront. I was like, it's my league. And I'm going to enter the dunk contest, even though I'll probably lose. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to do the 3-point contest like Mike did.
Yeah,
but that would be cool. I was saying, I just think you don't want scrutiny. I think you just want to go home, feed his family, ball. Like Kevin Garnett, Kevin Durant never gave me that. Durant never gave me that dog, that nasty.
Because you don't have that.
Imagine if
he would be unstoppable.
Imagine if Kevin Durant had what Russell Westbrook had in him.
Yeah, there would be nothing you could do. Honestly, you couldn't do anything.
The passion that Russ played with.
Yeah.
But Jason Tatum, face of the league. He's handsome. I'm saying pause. I'm not.
No. Listen, you good. He's a
good-looking young man. He's quiet.
He's a good father. Yeah.
Beautiful children. Everything about him. He's in a big market. He's in historical.
Yeah.
He's in a historical goddamn city and a historical team, a championship. But he's too stoic. You don't have no charisma.
No, none. 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 And I have no problem admitting that. He don't have it.
Yeah. And if he start trying to be that way, it's not gonna be fake.
No, it's not authentic. Absolutely.
Not authentic. So imagine if Jason Tatum had the same charisma Ant Williams had. Ant-Man.
Right.
He's the truth. Truthfully, if I was a businessman and I was somebody to be the face of my league, it would be Jason Tatum. He don't have no goddamn charisma.
None.
Hey, even even Barkley was like kind of facing. Barkley had charisma. He's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, he just be a knucklehead though.
But I think it's sad that we want to accept international players is the face of the league. But hey, that's how America is. A good old boy network, brother.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, yeah, man. Like I said, Ant-Man, he's cool.
Right.
I think I understand. I respect him. He just don't want the scrutiny. He ain't trying to carry. And what Lakers Nation talking about? LA soft as cotton. We don't know that basketball.
Here you go, man. Don't start all that. Don't start that.
That ain't been soft since.
Although
them left. There ain't been nothing since. That ain't been soft as cotton.
Although real quick we can point out that as you mentioned it, right? Remember when Kevin Love was in college at UCLA, right? UCLA they were struggling, and then what's his name? The coach came out from Pitt, from the Big East.
Right.
The coach came out from Pitt, immediately infused an East Coast mentality, and they went straight to the Final Four in back-to-back years. Interesting how that works, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, LA Hoopers, they finesse, they soft. They soft.
Tyson Chandler might not be trying to hear that.
Only thing tough came in the LA for us Hoopers is Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce got an East Coast mentality. But LA is soft. East Coast is way tougher than West anything. Like,
man, you're gonna have Laker Nation hot in here, man.
I'm ready for they got a big debate on that on Tuesday night how LA Hoopers was soft.
Really?
Kenya Martin called out LA Hoopers, talking about they soft as cotton in LA.
Wow.
Look it up. You get a chance. I'll probably see you. You just look it up. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, Kenya Martin, from Dallas. He's like, LA balls was, and our day they were soft as cotton. The only thing with stuff coming up was Paul Pierce.
Wow.
All the rest of them are guys.
Nah, Tyson Chandler, he'll probably have something to say about that.
East Coast got all the tough. East Coast got all the tough hoopers. But yeah, man.
Steve, Ben Howland. Yeah.
The show's doing good. Appreciate the show. Where the guys at, man? What's going on? All these
man.
shows.
Well, you know, G, man. G working hard for the nation, and Transformer had something going on, so they'll be back though. Yes, Steve. It was Ben Howland. You're right.
You're gonna send me a link one day. I'm gonna pop in one day on you.
Yeah. No, we're gonna do that. Don't worry about it. I got you.
We need to talk about hip hop. I heard y'all talk about hip hop too. So
I was trying not to.
You're a tough soldier, boy.
I try to tell you, man. I'm a purist, man.
Let your door stand and shine, man. Let the young fella. Man, look, like you gonna, but I got you. As far as Deion Sanders, you can do more than one thing.
Exactly. And like I said, I'm not mad at that. Remember, Shaq used to rap, Kobe rapped. You know, he's not the only one. So,
but Shaq the platinum artist.
Shaq is good. Shaq can actually rhyme. That's what I was saying. If you go look at the diss record he did for Dame Lillard over the Victory track. Oh my goodness, he scorched him. Scorched him.
Dame got him on that.
Nah, Shaq scorched him.
No, I ain't gonna lie. Shaq did come hard with the Victory shit.
Yeah, man.
But Shaq went ball for ball with Jay-Z with the Wu.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
The Biggie Smalls.
Yeah.
The Schnick.
Yes.
Yeah. So Shaq a platinum selling artist.
Facts.
During a time with no social media, where you had to be really.
No, you're right. You had to actually have some skills. But yeah, man, I'm gonna get to this last topic. I'm sure you want to hear this. I know it's AFC North topic, so.
All right, brother. All
right, brother. Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
All right.
Can always count on Bruce with a great call. All right, I appreciate that. All right, y'all. Let's get to the last topic. I get you out here for the night, man. I appreciate everybody who's still here with me, man. Thank you so much. All right. Cincinnati Bengals. So Cincinnati Bengals, they struggled this past year. A lot of it was early defensive issues and defensive issues throughout the year, despite the fact that number 91, Trey Hendrickson, led the league in sacks. I think he had 17 and a half or 18 sacks. He got busy. But, man, Joe Burrow got busy. I think he was number one in the league, if I'm not mistaken, in QBR, had like 4,900 passing yards, more than 40 touchdowns, I think 47 touchdowns, like 9 picks. Joe Burrow had a hell of a season. And I said on this show that had Joe Burrow, had the Bengals made the playoffs, I would have, and I had a vote, Joe Burrow would have been my MVP, my most valuable player for what he did. He was incredible. That's it. Now we're in the offseason, and the Bengals have some serious issues to contend with. Why do they have serious issues to contend with? The three players that we have here in this thumbnail, Jamar Chase, who is the Triple Crown winner this year, i.e. led the league in receiving touchdowns, receiving yards, and receptions, and T. Higgins, and Trey Hendrickson, the aforementioned Trey Hendrickson, defensive end, league leader in sacks. They are all up for new contracts, and they are in a they're in a tough spot. Why are they in a tough spot? Because Mike Brown, the owner of the Cincinnati Bengals, is notoriously cheap, and Joe Burrow signed a new deal not last summer, but I believe the summer prior. And so now what you have to deal with is a situation where you're trying to figure out how you make all this money work, again, because football is not like basketball. There's no soft cap. There's a hard cap. And the 2025 season the teams have been notified on Wednesday, which was today, that the expected salary cap range for the 2025 season will be $277 million to $281 million per team, right? And so you have now this is the range, and I think it's up $53 million over the last two seasons, right? Last year was $255.4 million salary cap. So here's the deal. You always hear about, well, teams got to make it work under the salary cap, blah, blah, blah. So I think his name is Andrew Brandt, used to be the GM for the Green Bay Packers. And he has a Substack now, and I've heard him on The Odd Couple with Rob Parker when Chris Broussard was still on there. And he used to get on, and he used to do hits, and he would talk about different things. And so he actually said that this notion of the salary cap being prohibitive to teams signing who they want, he said it's all BS. He said that any team can make it work as long as All right, all right. Everybody's still with me, man. I appreciate y'all. I had a power glitch and it rebooted my system, but I'm back. I'm here. Somebody remind me where we were. We were talking about the Cincinnati Bengals and their contract issues, right? Okay, yeah. So we have the what was it? The $281 million salary cap ceiling, right? Between 271 and 277 and 281, up from 255. So we're now looking at a situation where we heard Joe Burrow say that he wants to try his best to keep this team together this year. And, we see I was saying how if I had a vote and the Bengals had made the playoffs, I would have voted for Joe Burrow as MVP based on the type of season that he had and how he played out of his mind in order to get the Bengals back in position for that. Right now, here's the thing. When you look at that, you say, okay, he did all of that work, but he couldn't have done it alone. Obviously, again, he had the sack leader in the league. He had the Triple Crown leader in Jamar Chase, who is now up for a new deal. He wanted a new deal last year. They didn't give it to him. They're going to have to give it to him this year. And of course, they have T. Higgins, who is his number 2 receiver and could be a number 1 for a lot of teams in the league. And so he's up for a deal. Now, what I heard recently is that they may be trying to franchise him. Now, he doesn't have to sign the tag, but then it's like, okay, what are they going to do if he doesn't sign it? But he wants a new deal. And Joe Burrow is saying, look, we got to keep all these guys together. These are all my weapons, and these are the guys that allow me to play at this high level. And he's saying he's willing to do what he needs to do. Now, if I'm Joe Burrow, I'm suggesting, hey, I'm walking in there to the GM's office and saying, hey, how can we restructure my deal so that we can keep my weapons here, right? And so let's see, where are we? Now you're saying, here's Joe Burrow's quote, and this was prior to the Super Bowl. Quote, we have the cap space to get it done. I want to make it happen. Everybody involved. Trey, and that's Trey Hendrickson, that's T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Mike Gesicki, their tight end. We all want to stay together. When you have guys that are motivated like that, I think you can get those things done. Chase is expected to top Justin Jefferson's mega deal, which would put him at more than $40 million per year with more than $110 million guaranteed over 4 years. So that would make him reset the wide receiver market, which he has earned, right? Triple Crown winner, and just has been absolutely electric since he came into the league. And as we know, Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, they've been together since their days at LSU. Higgins is likely to fall in the range of $30 million on an annual basis, and Hendrickson is also likely to get around $30 million per year. The Bengals will have around $53.1 million in cap space per overthecap.com. This is before the team makes cuts to gain even more money. It wouldn't be surprising if the Bengals move on from guard Alex Kappa, defensive end Sam Hubbard, and linebacker Jermaine Pratt based off of their production last season. With the new salary cap information, the Bengals front office has a few busy weeks ahead. The NFL Combine starts next week, and the franchise tag window is now open until March 4th. Free agency begins on March 12th, and Seattle must go into the new league year with a detailed plan to ensure they win the first major part of the offseason. So they have to figure out not just, okay, how can we try to restructure Joe Burrow's deal, but how can we restructure some of the deals of the other players on this team? How can we maybe make some cuts, let some guys go? What's available in free agency at key positions that we can pick up on the cheap? What are we looking at in the draft that we can get guys on rookie deals that will help to save us money? All of these things, the Bengals need to work on their defense. Says it's not that serious. Well, I'll tell you what, it's not that serious. They got one thing improved on the defense, and that is defensive coordinator Al Golden, who helped Notre Dame get all the way to the national championship game. So we know they got the coaching part of it down, right? But in all seriousness, not sure. Laker Nation, you still at this? By the way, Gary Payton's from the Bay. He's not from LA, so I don't know if you get to count that. But anyway, we're not talking about that. So I think that it's going to be a combination of things, of restructuring deals, maybe depending on what guys are willing to take to stay there. But the problem is, because you waited now, guys are really going to want their money, especially is a situation like Jamar Chase, where you could have paid him last year, but he went out and had a career year this year and just went ham. So you have to reset the market with this guy. Trey Hendrickson led the league in sacks. I don't know how you don't give him a max deal. T. Higgins, I don't know what you do there. You got to figure that out, man. all that stuff is real. You have to figure that out. But again, it's going to cause, like we said, it's going to have to cause some cuts on personnel in other places, and they're going to have to do a really good job scouting and drafting. But here's the problem. Mike Brown, the owner of the Bengals, who's notoriously cheap, this is a guy who, per TJ Houshmandzadeh, who played for the Bengals, said that Mike Brown, the owner, bought used jock straps or kept used jock straps, I don't know, and tried to give them to his players. Dumped them out on the floor in the middle of the locker room and told them take them. Used jock straps because you're that cheap. You're a freaking NFL owner and you're reusing jock straps? Like, that's terrible. This is a guy, I think he also used to lock up the Gatorade so guys couldn't take it home. He used to limit, what they could have. It is crazy, man. The cheapness is absurd. They're in Cincinnati, and I think he's just now trying to like build an indoor facility for those guys, knowing how cold and disgusting it gets there in the winter. Like, it's, I don't know, man. It's bad. But the point is, also to his level of cheapness, another problem is you have, if you're Mike Brown, most teams, I think, have 10 or more scouts in their scouting department. The Bengals have 4 because they just don't want to pay. Like, that's really, really bad. So I was going to say you need to really make sure you do an outstanding job scouting the upcoming players in this draft so that you can make quality draft picks and get guys who are on rookie deals that can continue to contribute to the team. That way you can let some of the other guys go, right? You can let some of the other guys go, and then you would have that option, right? So you would be cutting money, but not necessarily cutting production. You get a younger guy to do it, but you got less scouts, so I don't know how you do that, man. But it's tough overall, and this is going to be key because we know how good the Bengals can be when they're at their peak, but if they don't figure out a way to keep these guys, and I think they're not going to let Jamar Chase walk, right? Even if they got to lose the other 2, Jamar Chase is going to be there, but Joe Burrow is going to be upset. He wants to keep his guys. He needs his weapons. So I think a big part of this whole thing, like I said, is going to be him restructuring. But the problem is, one of the best ways to restructure and get around the cap is to convert some of a player's salary into a bonus, right? Because bonuses don't hurt the cap. But if you convert to a bonus and you're an owner, you got to put that money in escrow so that they can get it, so that they know the money is there. And a lot of owners don't want to pay that money up front. So it's like, I don't know what you're going to do if you're Mike Brown. Do you really want to win? Do you want to maximize and take advantage of a guy like Joe Burrow being in his peak and being in his prime and having these elite weapons around him? Or do you want to be cheap? I don't know. That's up to you. But I am going to leave that right there. That was just a quick topic, but I definitely wanted to make sure that I got in some NFL talk. And again, pardon me for that glitch and glitching out on y'all for a few minutes. That was unintended, but it happens sometimes. Thank you for those of you who stuck with me. I'll take 2 calls if anybody wants to call in regarding this, and then we will get out of here for the night, man. So 904-219-8264, 904-219-8264. So let's do it this way. Do you think that Mike Brown is going to do what he has to do to keep this team together? Do you think that, let's see, if he has to if he has to keep 2 of these guys, which are the 2 guys you think he keeps between Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Trey Hendrickson? And how do you think that affects Joe Burrow going forward? How do you think he deals with that? So, yeah, 904-219-8264. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Laker Nation was good. Hold on. My bad. Lost my connection to the mixer. There we go. Go ahead. Say it again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, got you.
I said your viewers are gonna keep calling in disrespecting my town. I don't know what the hell, what hard on y'all got for LA. We know softness over there.
Yeah.
Y'all can put that in the pipe and smoke it for all I get.
Yeah. We talk about the Bengals, man. What you got?
I'm trying to change the subject.
We talk about the Bengals, man. That's the topic.
You letting your callers trying to single me out.
Man, nobody's singling you out, man. Don't take that personal, man. We all having fun
here.
here.
Talking about my city. What the hell? What do you mean? Don't take it personal.
Don't take it personal, man. You all right?
This guy.
What you got on the Bengals, man?
Franchise tagged T. Higgins.
I think they said they wanted to. I don't know if he signed it.
He's probably not going. I don't think he is going to sign it.
Right. I don't know. I might though, because the franchise tag is, what is it? An average of the top 5 players' salaries at the position, and it's fully guaranteed. It's only 1 year, but
I think his is close to like $8 million. But can't somebody swoop in and sign them right up under them with them being franchise tag? Ain't that how it works in the NFL? If I'm not mistaken. You're the football guru.
I wouldn't call myself a guru, but no, I believe that if he's franchised, they have his rights again for the next year, so they can hold on to him. That's the whole point of the franchise. You can hold on to a player that you want while you figure out how and if you're going to give him a long-term deal.
I don't know. He gonna have to lose somebody. I mean, that's the only thing that sucks about the salary cap in the NFL.
Yeah. But I mean, that's just part of the game.
When we give Purdy that money, we want to let some key guys go.
Right.
Like, I think Deebo Samuel's the first casualty.
Agreed.
And he's gonna be gone this offseason. So I think that's what happens. That's what happens when you. I don't know. I don't know, but they going. It's at the end of that salary cap for the NFL, man. It makes it hard to keep your squad together.
It does, and I think that's kind of the point, to try and have some level of parity, right? But the best GMs know how to work with it. You got to have a GM that wants to work with it, and you have an owner that's not going to be super cheap doing stuff like giving people used jock straps, right?
I wouldn't put on no used jock strap either.
Agreed. I mean, the mere fact that you would, yeah, go ahead.
Man, you got a lot of balls giving a 6'8", 350-pound dude a used jock strap.
Great point. I can't. Yeah, I don't know what would. There's
some massive ass motherfuckers. And some of them still are from the hood, so that shit might come out. You might hear on the news.
Right. I just
defensive end and held the owner from the rooftop by his ankles today.
Right. On some Suge Knight. Right. So here's a thought. Chris Godwin he's coming off injury, but he's a free agent. So maybe if T. Higgins moves on, you grab up Chris Godwin, but a little cheaper.
They're going to have to do something.
They're going to have to do something.
They got holes in their defense they need to fill.
Yeah.
They got to fix that offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have a hell of a draft.
Mm-hmm.
They got to hit some home runs in that draft. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm wondering how they are going to, how does their scouting department work? They only got 4 scouts. Like, Mike Brown is so ridiculously cheap. It's like, come on, 4 scouts for an NFL. There's a lot of college programs that got more scouts than that. That's terrible.
They only got 4 scouts. That's crazy.
Exactly. Because he doesn't want to pay.
How the hell they get Joe? No, let me stop.
Well, right. You didn't need a scout to know he was the real deal.
Let me stop.
Right.
Damn, they got, man. He's going to have to open up the pocketbook because you can't be cheap and win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder. We knocked Jerry Jones, but at least he willing to open up his pocketbook.
Right. But he'll only really open it up for the dudes that he drafted because he wants to show that they're smart football guys in Dallas. So
I mean, cut you off. They're saying that my volume's still low.
They're saying that what?
My volume's still low. I don't know how to fix that because I'm on my phone.
Yeah, I don't know either. Let me see. All right, can y'all hear better now? Go ahead, say something, Laker Nation.
Can y'all hear me? If I give a thumbs up in the chat or something if you can hear me. If not, I won't hold up the show. I'm gonna let somebody else call if they can't hear me.
You should be good now. I just boosted it up on the mixer, but yeah. So okay, there we go. Yeah, he says it's good now.
Okay. What I was saying is, man, they only have folks. Man, you gotta open up the pocket. You gotta open up your pocketbook, man, if you want to win, because you in that tough AFC North.
Mm-hmm.
You're in that tough AFC North where every game is serious.
That's right. But yeah, sorry.
No, I was gonna say every game is tough out there, and the AFC is tough as it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you say that all the time.
Yeah, man.
How tough the AFC is, so he's gonna have to do something.
Yeah, he is. But he's notoriously cheap. Like, he's known for that. So we'll see what happens.
Well, he's gonna have to make a decision if Joe Burrow has to request a trade next year.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to piss off your franchise quarterback.
You do not, because he'll ask out of there.
Yeah,
and
everybody in their mama going.
That's right.
Open up their bank account to get Joe Burrow over there on their squad, because you see the Rams is willing to ship off Matthew Stafford. So
hell yeah.
you think LA won't?
You
think LA wouldn't want Joe Burrow?
Man, listen, Joe Burrow with what's his name, with Sean McVay. Oh, that'd be crazy. And Puka Nacua, what?
That'll be insane. And they're looking. They're made it known they're willing to move Matthew Stafford, which I feel bad because he's a very good quarterback, and him being traded twice in his career is insane.
Right.
Who knows? Shit. Detroit may make Jared Goff available if Burrow asks for a trade. You never know. People that you wouldn't think I wouldn't make a move will make a move to get him. So he better tread lightly over there. That's the only thing I gotta say.
Definitely.
You gotta keep a player of his caliber happy.
Yeah, I would agree. So I would agree. Yeah, you got a guy like that. You have to. You got to take care of him.
Yeah, you got to. You got to give him some. If he asks for weapons, give him his weapons. Protect him. Give him his line. Whatever he asks for. He don't ask for much.
Mm-hmm.
He don't ask for much. He don't cause no issues. He show up to work, and he put up. His numbers were what, top 2, top 3 last year, and they didn't make the playoffs.
Yep.
And he didn't even get on the. He didn't even make a fuss. He didn't make a fuss about it. Most quarterbacks in his position would make a fuss. They get on the news, get on the media. I said news, media, it's the same thing. Damn, it must be getting late.
Right.
They'll get on social media
mm-hmm.
and start saying like, "Hey, y'all better do something, man. I'm balling out, man. I need some help."
Mm-hmm.
He ain't do none of that. So
right.
So no, if he don't get it together and he demands a trade,
they can't possibly let it get that bad. I would hope not. That would be terrible.
I would love and hate to see it because I'll get some popcorn and I'll be tuned into the TV because
no doubt.
You thought that Luka trade was no news.
Right.
Shit, a Joe Burrow trade would be mega headline.
Right. Yeah, that would be gigantic, man.
And you'll wipe your forehead. You'll be like, shit. I have one less team in my division I gotta worry about now.
That's right. Yeah, man.
But I'm gonna let you go, Bruce, and let somebody else call in.
All right, brother. I think I'm probably gonna kill it right here, man. But thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Huh?
I said no problem.
All right, brother. All right, y'all. Looks like we're probably not going to get any more calls on this topic, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it right here. Again, I apologize for the glitch out, but I got back to y'all as quickly as I could. But thank you so much for sticking with me, those of you who did. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe on the way out. Really appreciate it. And I am going to try very much or very desperately to get this special guest in line. I was trying to get him tonight to talk boxing, but couldn't get it to happen. But I'm going to try to make that happen before the end of the week. Obviously, we know we got huge fights on Saturday. So what's today? Wednesday. So between tomorrow or Friday, I'm going to try to make that happen. So y'all stay with me, and I will let you know. And I'm going to leave it right here. If not, as always, we'll be back on Sunday morning. And we out. Peace.